What's up? How we doing, losers? I'm just kidding. I'm the loser here. I just noticed, like I was told, like there was some official statement made, and as you can see on your screen, the up on your right, you can see NASA's Artemis 2 crew comes home. As you can see, they don't arrive until, excuse me, this doesn't start until 6:30 p.m. However, the rocket doesn't come back until 8:07. Had I known that, I would have scheduled differently. But since I had it scheduled, I know that there's so many people just waiting to see my face. I can't let my one fan down. So here I am, ass early. So that being said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. But that's all right. That's all right. We'll find something to do, won't we? Yeah. Or maybe not. No, I'm just kidding. So up in your top left screen, right Sean, this is actually another launch that's taking place. I don't know when. But I found it when I searched for NASA. Oh, in 13 hours. Boy, I sure knew how to vet my info, don't I? I put that up there and didn't even look at that bottom corner yet. So we won't be on until that one. Knowing the way things go, it won't be in for another 16 hours, and I will have waited 13 hours for nothing, huh? Yeah, so no. We won't be doing that. So what we will be doing, though, is watching some news just to see what's going on in the world. Because, the headline is Trump and Iran clash on the Strait of Hormuz ahead of the peace talks. Well, duh. Just end the ceasefire already. Come on. All we're doing we're just giving them time to regroup and lick their wounds, gather up more artillery. This is just helping the enemy. So just end the ceasefire and hammer these bastards into the ground, into a pretty pink paste, and let's just be done with this. You know what I mean? Do you agree? Comment below, my one faithful companion. I don't even know who you are. I don't know that you've ever even said a word. I don't know if you've ever even hit the like button. You didn't hit it last time. You want to make me giggle like a little girl? Click the like button, buddy. Come on. Come on. Click the like button. Right, we're going to go over here. I'm going to put NBC on that one. Not that I have much interest in watching NBC, but we'll keep it there for poops and giggles. I have to rein in the amount of cussing that I do because apparently YouTube likes to demonetize me if I use bad language too soon in the video. Right, we're going to go over here to Fox Live.
Features like craters. There was that extremely poignant moment when the team discovered a new crater between the near and the far side of the moon, and they phoned back to mission control and asked if they could name it Carol Crater after Commander Reed Wiseman's late wife, Carol. And it was just a very heartfelt moment. But these are the kinds of discoveries that can only be made by humans who know what to look for. They all have scientific training. They're all part of the scientific team of this mission.
Told everybody that I was talking to my mom.
What to look for and are seeing things that robotic missions couldn't possibly capture.
Yeah, and I asked our last guest here on the Artemis 2 mission, Ed Stewart over at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. I asked him what he's most looking forward to as there is so much data, not only about the capsule, the life support.
If you ever had any question as to what they do, it's in the name.
To really figure out in the following amount of days of observing and analyzing this data.
For sure. Personally, I'm excited to see more photos of the total solar eclipse that they experienced. We get solar eclipses on Earth. The last one I saw a couple years ago lasted about 90 seconds. They were in darkness for something like 40 minutes. So I'm very excited to see what
the last solar eclipse a few years back. That came right across South Carolina, real nice and perfect light. Came right through the middle of the country. I forget what year it was, but that was super cool. If you ever get a chance to see a solar eclipse, not a lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, fuck a lunar eclipse. If you ever get a chance to see a solar eclipse, that's pretty badass. It really is. Like, for a moment there, it seemed like everything was sparkling. It was really strange. It was very odd. It was very eerie. I can see how, ancient tribes and civilizations who didn't know any better would have thought that it was something magical. It was a magical time. I could see how they would think so. Without any other knowledge or anything, I could totally see it. It was wild. I highly encourage you, if you've never seen a solar eclipse, to do everything you can to see at least one in your life. Totally awesome.
Broadcast. So feel free to pull out your second screen and go over to livescience.com and see what we're saying over there. We got some really good stuff coming.
So if that's you watching now, Mom, I just told everybody, even though NASA is going to be live at 6:30, they said it was 6 initially. Now they say it's 6:30. I then find out that they don't actually crash back down into the ocean until 8:07. So, we're going to be hanging out, looking for stuff to do. I wish I could play a movie without getting a copyright strike or something. I mean, that would be totally cool. But, no, sure can't do that. I could if I was just on Rumble, because Rumble's cool. But, YouTube. Man. Well, it seems everybody's on commercial. As per usual. It's after 5. The markets are closed. Can't even play with that stuff. Let's see what these jerks over here are saying.
Does, and crucially, Ryan, we need to remember that more than 1 in 10 students in the entire country are Texas students. So what we do, the textbooks that we order, the preferences that we have for material have effects across the country because it influences the kind of material and textbooks that other states can access, Ryan.
Okay. Well, the real question you should be asking is, why do I care? Tell you what. Let's peruse on my homepage and just see what we've got going on. Is anybody that's watching my one fan on Rumble? Is anybody like Star Wars? What's that? Nobody says shit. Yeah, the new Star Wars show, that Maul Shadow Lord. Just saw the first 2 episodes the other day. That show was pretty awesome. So far, so good. But Disney is pretty tight on their stuff, so I can't play any of that. Whoa, what the hell is Tom? Is it Tom or John? John Bolton. I'm just going to call him Mustache. Help. Trump says the only reason... Oh, they took it off the screen. Oh, I had the volume down on it.
Graphical position to do the same
Let's see
kind
which
of thing.
one it is.
The Houthis in Yemen have tried to close the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the connection between the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. That's unacceptable too. So there's a lot at stake here. If you believe in freedom of the seas, what Iran is doing
Did he call them the Houthis?
Violation of those norms. And people say they want
the Houthis in Yemen.
Order. Well, good luck with that. But here's a rule. This is a rule that goes back thousands of years in its development.
But Ambassador Bolton, that's the same argument that supporters of Iran give. They say that, look, there's an international law.
This Ion News is based out of India, I think.
Number one. And number two, if you say that Iran doesn't really have direct authority
As if
on
you
the
can't
Strait
tell.
of Hormuz, what was making Donald Trump so frustrated that he even ended up using abusive words in his
abusive words?
You know, reflected the kind
You're talking to animals.
of frustration
Abusive words. Shut up.
Well, I think the U.S. and Israeli action was complying with international norms. We pointed out in the national security strategy in the George W. Bush administration that a country is entitled to take preventive steps against a hostile country's effort to build nuclear, chemical, or biological weapons of mass destruction. You don't have to wait until the last possible moment when your innocent civilian population is threatened. So it's Iran that's the aggressor here in all material respects. And the reason Trump is in a panic is because of high gasoline prices.
He's not in a panic.
And the political damage he thinks he's suffering in the United States. It's not a strategic issue. And I think the concessions that Vice President Vance may be about to make in these talks aren't from a strategic perspective either.
But you heard that, did you?
To protect Trump's domestic political base.
Okay. Let me also then ask you, Ambassador Bolton, about how Pakistan's role is being seen in this. Some say that it was just, you know, relaying messages between both parties. Pakistan chooses to portray itself as the big mediator, the big peacemaker in this conflict. Then there was Donald Trump, the American president, who said that, look, it was China who actually got Iran onto the negotiating table. How do you see this?
Well, I think this whole affair has been very confused, to say the least. We've got a fundamental disagreement between the U.S. and Israel on the one hand and Pakistan and Iran on the other, whether the truce covers Lebanon or not. The U.S. President and Vice President and the Israeli Prime Minister have said unequivocally they did not understand Lebanon to be covered. Pakistan and Iran have said differently. When you can't agree on a pretty important point like that, that tells you something about the nature of the so-called ceasefire agreement. And I think that kind of ambiguity could well have a major negative impact on the talks that could begin tomorrow in Pakistan.
That's true.
Do you see any sort of positive signals coming out of this meeting, Ambassador Bolton? Before I let you go, I just want to get a sense of how you're seeing this.
I don't think anything positive is going to come out of it. Ask me. What are they saying down here?
No, I think getting them back to the ground, showing that it can be done.
Is Trump speaking, or are they just showing some stock footage?
Sharing your perspective.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's shift our focus now. In a rare meeting, the
And
Chinese
they need to learn how to use
Xi Jinping hosted Taiwan's main opposition party leader in Beijing.
Music.
Cheng Li-wen is the KMT's first sitting leader to visit China in a decade. Xi and Cheng shook hands in front of journalists at Beijing's Great Hall.
Yeah. Let's see what CNN's saying. This is actually CNN.
To Iron Beam.
CNN. It's not CNN. It's somebody who's hijacked their channel and pumps it on theirs for propagandic purposes.
Anytime, any.
And
and Iran is huge at the moment.
Don't scan that QR
Principal
code.
test of that
See how it
trust.
says scan this
For the
QR code?
US
Don't
side,
scan it.
the sort of confidence building, if you will, that Iran was going to produce to get into
There, I'll
those
just take
talks
it
and
away.
give them a hope of a positive outcome.
Yeah,
would,
no
of course,
problem.
be allowing tankers through the Strait of Hormuz.
Right.
U.S. and Iran prepare for talks amid fragile ceasefire.
Substantial way. Nick
Hormuz confusion.
Islamabad,
There's no confusion.
Thank you so much.
There's no confusion at
The
all.
White House on this very issue right now. CNN's Elena Trine is standing by. There.
You've got
The Vice
some
President is
bloodthirsty
expected to be
cutthroats
departing sometime soon
that think
for
they can
what
charge
still be defense talks.
tolls.
What are you hearing from there?
Yeah, look, I think a lot of people in the administration are, of course, a bit wary of how these talks are going to go. But I've heard, particularly yesterday after some of the...
So yeah, I see someone else on Rumble just showed up. So I have the duty to inform you that I was told that the Artemis was going to land at 6. But in normal fashion, I didn't really listen very well, and it turns out they're going live, not at 6, at 6:30. However, the rocket doesn't land until 8:07. So you can't go anywhere. You're stuck with me. Stay right here and hit that fucking like button. Yeah. That being said, I'm not going to sit here for 3 solid hours. I will be up and down, going to smoke a cigarette here and there. You want to stay? Cool. If you don't, that's cool too, homie. It's a free country. Unless you don't live in America. And, yeah, if you don't, well, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm not one of those ignorant Americans that doesn't know that most countries have freedom. I'm aware you probably are free if you've got the internet. I'm willing to bet, though, that you're not from Iran. Too soon? Oh, come on, Trump. Just nuke Iran already. You know you want to. And we all know this ceasefire BS isn't going to hold. We all know it. J.D. Vance already alluded to it being possible that maybe kind of sort of we've got some of these weapons here, some really powerful weapons. I can't name the weapons, so use your imagination. They're probably talking about nukes. God, I hope so. It's been so long since we've had nuke a civilization. It would just warm my heart. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be a beautiful thing? Right. That's a lot of words in a small area. I've got a big widescreen monitor at my disposal here, and I can't even read those. So I know y'all can't. Sitting here staring at this with no sound. Like some kind of dingbat.
Realistic scenario for these talks scheduled to begin tomorrow.
Well, John, thanks for that question.
Sorry,
Best
I'm a
case
little
is one
gassy.
thing, realistic is another. From the beginning
Yes,
of this war
I fed my
of choice,
kitty.
this chaotic war, it's been unclear exactly what President Trump's goals are and exactly why the United States has spent more than $50 billion over more than 40 days. Americans are seeing the price
Can you
at the
see
pump
my kitty over there?
$4 a gallon everywhere in the country. We're going to see inflation go up. The costs at the grocery store will be impacted. Fertilizer will impact the growing season for farmers around the world. And as you just said, the Strait of Hormuz is not open. And if the goal was regime change, we have Ayatollah 2.0 in place. His son, more angry, more
Yeah,
radical,
the
more
Gayatollah.
likely to be aggressive. Yes, we've sunk a lot of their official navy. No,
You know what we should do?
Weakened their ability to shut the Strait of.
You know what we should do? We shouldn't nuke Iran. we should invade them. We should just run up in their backyard, right? And find the Gayatollah and then toss him off a building. I think that would send a clear message, don't you?
It's unclear to me what's been accomplished, Of course, I wish J.D. Vance success, and I hope that there will be a negotiation.
But
maybe it can achieve a real ceasefire
now,
first, and then hopefully an accounting for the highly enriched uranium.
Look, nothing like that. No, these talks aren't going to go well unless somebody blows somebody. We all know this, and nobody wants to blow the other. Probably because both people think the other one's junk stinks. And it does. So, nothing's going to come of this talk. I highly doubt it. I don't see Trump as the type of person to concede very easily. You know, he's a very vain individual. To a degree, right? You can tell he's the type of person who would get kind of upset if you started making fun of the size of his penis or something, you know? So, he's not going to take anything like that. He's not going to take the insulting nature of defeat lightly. So I just don't see that I don't see him being the type to concede. He knows what's at stake. He knows that if he does, they're just going to drag him through the dirt like they have been. Like that smug jackass who keeps on showing up on my Facebook channel. The one who talks are really loud like this, and I said blah, 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 blah. That jackass, you've all seen him. He's the one making those smart-ass videos, making me wish they'd nuke his smug ass. Yeah, I don't like that jerk. I'm sure he knows it. I've seen the memes, too, of him with their president standing side by side with their arms folded, and with the caption of something glorifying them as being great leaders or something. Like, it's such typical propaganda BS. Like, shut the fuck up. People who watch CNN, I'm sure they lap it up because, you know, they're the same people who say, you know exactly who somebody voted for if you see him flying the American flag. And why do you think they have such animosity like that against somebody who flies the American flag? All of a sudden, it's bad to be patriotic. Now, I remember growing up, I used to turn my flags upside down. I was a rebellious kid. You know, I was in a band, and we did a cover of Rage Against the Machine's Killing in the Name. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I was all about some upside down flags and anarchy, bro, and all that. But there comes a point in time when it's a matter of self-pride that you have some degree of patriotism. It doesn't mean that you support the government necessarily. It means that you support this land that we all live on, that we're all lucky enough to live on. Right? Am I wrong? Somebody tell me I'm wrong and I'll shut up, but I don't think I am. So that being said, how could you have such animosity towards someone who flies the American flag and does love their country? The idea of which I just explained.
And tool at their disposal, including making it a regional war, bringing in a dozen other countries that they have struck. And so, frankly, President Trump has a lot of work to do to reduce the efforts made by Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Are we still talking about Israel? Yeesh.
Iran's supreme leader is telling Gulf nations to, quote, stand on the right side. In a social media message, he seemingly referred to the regime's survival in the war and suggested U.S. dominance has come to an end.
Yeah, they're suggesting U.S. dominance has come to an end. That was the end of her statement.
And then there'll be the final one tomorrow before entry. All of those are done actually without the pressurization system that we're characterizing. We're operating in a case where we're in blowdown, which means that we already have full pressure in the prop tanks to be able to perform these burns. Even if we had, you know, a 3 sigma dispersion, we still have plenty of prop pressurization to do the burns. So we don't see any impact to entry at this time. And of course, we will, you know, jettison the service module, and that's where the system is. And of course, the crew module jets that we'll use actually on reentry are unaffected at this time.
Yeah, and to add to that, Jeff, there's multiple layers and redundancy in our propulsion system, and so really the test yesterday was to help us characterize that information since we don't receive the service module back home. But we have reviewed that as a technical team. We have validated all of that in our labs, and we have very much confidence in the system.
We'll take another question on the phone and then head back into the room. Our next question is from Micah Maidenberg with the Wall Street Journal.
Thanks. Amit, you spent a lot of time over the last 2 or 2.5 years working on the heat shield and the reentry plan that will be rolling out tomorrow. I'm curious if you ever went through this effort and the new trajectory, directly with the crew's families, and did you feel like that session, if it happened, was able to resolve any worries they might have had? Did anybody else outside of the crew themselves from NASA sort of talk through the mitigation for tomorrow? Thanks so much.
Yeah, we haven't gone into deep technical detail. At least I have not with the families directly. I know that. I will tell you though that from day one, since I started in the program and then was just right before they named this crew, we have been talking to the crew about this problem the whole time, and they've been with us on the investigation. They've been with us on the production improvements that were made, all the changes to entry procedures. So they were not just doing what we were telling them to do. They co-created this solution with us. So they've been lashed up. I imagine they've discussed with their loved ones what the risks are. They've talked about that through all phases of flight, through entry, through ascent, every single piece of it. So I know that they're well prepared. And I would tell you though that. It's not said a lot, but the courage that the families show during these missions is as great as or equal to what the crew shows when they go fly, and so we all have to admire them for that.
We'll take our next question in the room. Go ahead.
Thanks. Joey Roulette with Reuters. Question for Amit or whoever wants to answer. I'm just curious to hear more about how the astronauts are feeling ahead of what's probably the riskiest part of the mission. Are they asking questions, technical questions, or anything else? And Jeff, I wanted to hear a little bit more about the oxidizer issue, if you could describe the leak rate or what risk level this poses to the crew, if any, and how many valves are implicated in it. Thanks.
Yeah, I think I'll let Jeff or Braniel kind of talk about the crew spirits. I know they've been on the radio and they're pretty chipper. So, but what you gonna tell them?
Well, I think when we talk about the managing the emotions on orbit and managing that through every day of flight, they're all a little bit different, right? And when you talk to the crew, some days we get to the conference at the end of the day, and we're talking technical items, we're talking technical things, we're talking about what happens tomorrow. And some days it's there's very little to talk about in terms of technical items, but it's hey, here's how we're feeling, here's how we're doing. They were very happy to get some time off after the lunar flyby. The lunar flyby was a long day. I'm sure you all heard them on the radios, constantly that day. It was a long, taxing day for them, and they were happy to get a little bit rest the following day. So every day of the mission, especially with the mission this
expecting a 6 o'clock crash down, splashdown. I mean, crash down. Yeah, no, we don't want to crash down, do we? Yeah. I have been informed that NASA's not even going live until 6:30, and the splashdown isn't until 8:07. So now I'm locked in to being you guys' dance monkey because I promised that the shuttle would be home. I could have covertly turned the time, switched the time over, and changed the time on the thing, but I'm not a jerk. So, if you gotta leave, do me a favor and hit the like button first. I'm sorry. It was my bad. But, yeah. I have the unique ability to not listen, so. I was busy doing other stuff. Sorry. It happens. Don't you know? So, we're just killing time for the next, 2 hours and change by watching things explode on the news and praying for nuclear war. So, hang around, don't hang around. That's totally up to you. I appreciate you coming. Just do me a big favor and hit the like button first. let's see what they're still talking about Israel. So
let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz and the global markets. Well, you know,
this is not
U.S. Navy
in
the Strait of Hormuz.
It's not these talks are going to get nowhere.
The global oil markets. Do you think
end the ceasefire, blow these people to hell? That's what we're going to have to do. You know it is. You know it. I know it. Trump knows it. The Iranians know it.
In the short term, yes, it would be unavoidable that oil prices and gas prices will go up.
Yep.
Iran has the ability to, at the very least, scare away insurers of these ships that would traverse the Straits of Hormuz.
Hello, Miriam Kurteki.
The American military has destroyed
Thanks for coming.
the Iranian military, but they still, or the Iranian Navy, I should say, but the Iranian military still possesses
will definitely have.
And still cause
we will definitely be here until the Artemis 2 comes splashing down into the ocean at 8:07. I appreciate you coming. Be sure and come back, baby.
Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and there has been damage to some infrastructure. So, yes, prices will go up for a time. I don't think long-term the Iranian regime will be able to maintain an effective closure.
We're
on the
going
region,
to make
especially
this
as the U.S. military moves
smooth.
more assets in.
I'm going to make it smooth. And we're going to go over here. They're talking about the Artemis, being that that's the theme of the stream.
Are selected, go through a physical screening process to ensure that they are able to be part of teams that can not only just go out at sea, but go on any type of platform to be able to provide the support from their type of specialty at a moment's notice. So we have surgical teams on board the amphibious ship, as well as an en route care team, search and rescue medical technicians. We have emergency medicine physicians on board.
They're characterizing
are there
this
to support NASA and their medical team
as a risky
as they
splashdown.
retrieve and recover.
How else could
the
you
astronauts.
characterize it?
We've got
they're in a rocket careening towards the planet at a free fall. Yeah, it's a little risky, don't you think?
Let's first talk about the Orion situation here. It is going to slow down from 25,000 miles per hour to about 20. That's a feat that's never been done on this spacecraft with people on board. How does the crew prepare for such a dramatic drop in their speed?
Yeah, on the spacecraft with people on board is the right caveat because, of course, they did do this with Artemis 1. That was an uncrewed mission, but you showed the images of the heat shield on Artemis 1, and there was some scarring and some burning on the heat shield that they did not like. And so they went back and they tried to figure out why did that happen. What can they do?
If you frequent social media, you have to have seen the 1,001 dingbats that are in these groups who doubt that this is real. Now, while there is no substantial evidence to prove it, these people.
For 6 minutes of radio silence. And yes, everybody will
Sorry, I'm not going to hurt my head trying to explain these morons. You get what I'm trying to say. I'll just leave it at that. Yes, our government does lie to us about a lot of stuff.
Drilling down on the shield
but
and making changes to the angle of
but
entry. You'll hear them call
that's
it.
That's all there is.
The angle of re-entry to
don't get me started, because then I'll have to hit pause and I'll have to rant for about 5 minutes straight. And it's starting to piss me off. I'm going to go have a smoke.
As we continue to do
you got to expect, I'm not going to sit here for 2 or 3 hours and not go smoke. I was expecting them to crash down, 5 minutes ago. But no.
As we all remember, the Columbia astronauts were lost when their heat shield allowed the flames and the fire to enter the shuttle on re-entry.
I will be right back.
Of course, the shield had been damaged, but all of those astronauts died, and that is not lost on anybody. So instead of spending 20 minutes on that re-entry corridor, they've changed it to 13 minutes. Less time. They're coming in steeper, but less time in the extreme heat. And they're hoping that that, in fact, will prove, and all of the analysis has proven that that should, in fact, make sure that the shield holds as it's expected to. 7:53 p.m. Eastern Time is when they enter what they call, as you have probably heard the term, entry. Oh boy, how did I just do that after saying this every day for 5 days? Interface. Entry interface, of course. Gotti Schwartz clearly knows what that is. Entry interface, 7:53 p.m. Eastern Time, splashdown 8:07 Eastern Time.
You might be spaced out, Tom, if that's possible
it's
for
you.
It's
been a long 2 weeks.
You might have gotten to that point.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Gotti, we know that you just eat and breathe this stuff, but tell us, what's your inside spaceball element that you're looking for tonight?
Spaceball. I mean, spaceball. That must be like it made a Schwartz be with you, Joe.
I was going to wait.
Speaking of spaceballs, I do have.
I was going to save myself.
Here. We have this ball. This is all of us. And
but
what Tom was saying,
we're having so much fun together.
Right and so mind-blowing when you think about it. So I made this just a little bit ago. This is my little capsule. Here's Orion, and he was talking about that angle of attack, right? So in Artemis 1, what NASA tried to do is, you know how like back in the day you'd go to the lake and try to skip a stone? That's what they were doing. They were
there he is. Hold on. Hold on.
Capsule.
Sit. What are you doing? Get back here. That asshole right there. There he is. We gotta hear what he's saying. I hate this guy. I want him. Oh! Son of a bitch! I'm backing it up. Oh, I can't. You bastards. You won't let me back it up. I hate that son of a bitch. He's such a smug piece of shit. You know what I mean? If you frequent Facebook, you've seen that bastard. I can't wait until we turn him into a pink paste. He's such a smug piece of human garbage. I can't wait to get the thing on the screen that says dead. All right. Hey, I'm trying to go smoke. And the news just keeps getting yummier and yummier. Now Trump's on screen. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Ooh, shit. Hey, is that Los Angeles? Oh, no. It's Israel? I couldn't tell. Muharraq. Muharraq. You got to have that in there or it doesn't count. Pooped. Of course. Of course. The propaganda is so heavy right now. You got to be very careful what you believe. Shit. I should have hit that button a while ago so you could hear what's going on instead of just me.
Iran. Following escalated conflict between Iran and the U.S.-Israeli forces.
Somebody let me know in the chat when the sound's not on if it seems like it should be, okay?
GCC nations are also facing the impact, with oil exports paralyzed and vital supply chains severely disrupted. And as the war rages on,
you know, I gotta say,
statements have consistently maintained that
I gotta say, you know, the Saudi prince, what is his name, Mohammed bin Salman or whatever the hell his name is, the guy that wears the Pizza Hut tablecloth on his head. Those Arabs, they wear the Pizza Hut tablecloths. The other guys, they just wear white tablecloths. But the guy who wears the Pizza Hut tablecloths, bin Salman, that bastard That guy, he's a real piece of garbage. And I never thought in a million years that I would be like, that I'd be seeing them on the more right side of things, you know, because they're threatening Iran now, which is good. Oh, damn.
And in an asymmetrical war, clearly the United States and Israel have the firepower to blow things up and destroy the infrastructure in Iran. And what we're seeing is entirely predictable. Iran is striking back.
Look at them scattering like cockroaches.
What Iran has are
boom,
thousands of drones.
Yeah, boom,
intercontinental of ballistic missiles. So it's using the assets it has, and
cool.
But the asset,
Thanks, Miriam.
it has is that these drones cost between $20,000 and $50,000.
Like
each.
you can hear this guy
With
talking now,
interceptors that the
but right now you can't hear him talking. And earlier I was talking when I thought you would be able to hear him. I'm confident you can hear me, and I'm confident that's not going to stop. But if I go quiet and I'm just staring off, that means I'm watching something, right? And I'm probably hearing it too, because there's a different button that has to be hit for y'all to hear it. And this program I'm using just makes it a little more complicated than need be. So if you see me staring off like I'm listening to something, say something in the chat so I can make sure the audio is on for you guys as well too, because this one source that I have is a little problematic. That's all. But thanks for letting me know.
Iran can produce, or was able before the war started, to produce up to 10,000 more missiles a month, and so we don't know exactly where that stands.
I love
now.
this drone footage.
But as an American, I've seen this movie before. I've seen the U.S. get lied into one war after another throughout my lifetime. And so this is, again, the same thing happening, and it's a very unpopular war.
No sound from the news?
States. Usually at the start of a war,
how about
the
now?
Public rallies around the flag and supports the administration. This one, since Trump's approval rating was so low before and his credibility was so low, that people did not respond that way to this. So Trump is on a short leash, although he doesn't seem to care much about American public opinion.
Professor Kuznick, and still talking about that, why do you think the U.S. president is keeping the world guessing as to when this war will end? And in your own view,
thank you.
Who do you think will blink first?
You just helped me determine which one it was, because there's two different settings.
Well,
it's complicated. You don't care about it either, I'm sure.
Trump has not ever made
thank you.
Clear or stuck to a consistent,
shout out to Miriam Kurtecki. Am I saying that right?
Kurtecki?
I'm guessing it's
was
Kurtecki.
anything other than a war of choice. Now, Rubio has said that the U.S. got involved because Israel was about to attack Iran itself, and then the U.S. assets throughout the region would be vulnerable. Trump comes up with one explanation after another: regime change, destroying Iran's nuclear program, which he said the U.S. had obliterated in June. So
you know what?
No
it's possible to believe we obliterated it then, and then they rebuilt since then, or we might not have blown it all up as best as we thought we did, which is totally acceptable in my eyes. Either one.
Is that Iran is
like this argument I keep hearing people say, "Oh, thought we obliterated it." We might have, we might not have. Either one's acceptable. Shit happens. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just get out of here. Let's move on. There's more important things.
Is not in support of what the U.S. is doing. So I would have to think the U.S. is going to blink first right now.
Yeah, we better not. That's all I can say.
On America's allies or America's friends like India and other countries in Asia, of the cutoff of oil is really having a much more serious impact, as well as the cutoff of.
Now listen, if you're unfamiliar with why we need to completely exterminate the Islamic Republic of Iran, if you're unfamiliar with why, you should know that these people are on a mission. They have been for the last 1,000 years. They are on a mission, a religious a religious prophecy told them that their prophet would return and bring about Armageddon when the world is in chaos and Israel was destroyed, and to use any means necessary to bring this on. And that it was okay for innocent people, women and children, to die. They have said that it's okay if innocent women and children die. They do not care. Now, they have employed Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. They have employed them as their proxy armies. You've heard that term before, I'm sure. They're proxies because they're closer to Israel than they are Iran. They're closer to Israel than Iran is because they literally neighbor them. Lebanon, Palestine, Gaza, okay? So what these animals do is, I'm talking about Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthis. What these animals do is they stockpile weapons in civilian locations that are in everyday neighborhoods, schools, hospitals, places like that. And they fire missiles from these places at Israel. And then what do you think happens? Israel retaliates. Israel defends itself and shoots missiles right back to where those other missiles came from. It happens to be schools. It happens to be hospitals. Now, you've seen these people recently making the human chain around the power plants. Yeah, they were doing that at gunpoint. They don't show you that because that's the whole idea. They're willing to sacrifice children. It is an acceptable loss to them. They are animals. All for some stupid-ass prophecy. And I'm sorry, I get pretty heated about it because it makes me furious that people actually try and act like Israel's the aggressor. Now, has Israel done everything perfect? Of course not. Nobody's perfect here. We're all a bunch of talking monkeys with our dumbass beliefs. And Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran is certainly no exception. The people of Iran are an entirely different equation. They don't want them there either. But why do you think they've cut the internet for the entire country? So that the people can't get a clue. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. We don't need to give Iran, we don't need to give them any more time. They're using this ceasefire to regroup and lick their wounds and gather up more artillery and recollect themselves. All this is doing is strengthening the enemy. And yes, they are the enemy. We need to go in and slit their throats while they sleep. And I have no shame in saying so, because that's exactly the same kind of person we're dealing with. They will do the same. They will do worse. They have done worse. They sent children and the elderly into minefields and told them that if they stepped on a mine and got blown to hell, that little plastic key that they put around their neck would get them into heaven. That's the type of person we're talking about. So, if you think Israel is the prime aggressor, I'm not trying to say Israel is completely innocent. I'm just saying the reason Israel does everything they've ever done, aggressive-wise, is out of defense of these maniacs that are constantly doing everything they can to kill them. It is their only mission in life. They live to destroy Israel. Look up the Twelver Shia sect of Islam. And that's the Islamic Republic of Iran. Okay. I'm done with my rant. We're here for rockets, not rocketing people. But I do so enjoy watching the explosions on TV. We're going to make him small because he is a small man. And we're going to put NASA on the screen because it represents the achievement of mankind, not its worst. Is that fair, guys? Okay? That being said, I'm going to make myself a little small so you won't miss me when I'm gone because I'm about to go outside and have a smoke. I'm sorry. but I got myself wound up, and now I need some nicotine. So I'm going to leave you with... Oh, no. Okay, yeah. I'm going to leave you with Trump.
So far has maintained its commitment to the relationship.
I shall return, losers.
On the other hand, UAE has
Just
described
kidding.
Iran's attack
I'm
as
the loser,
almost
not you
unhinged.
guys. Love you.
In an interview to ABC News, UAE's Minister for International Cooperation, Reem Al-Hashmi, said that events unfolding in the region were unprecedented, adding that it was surprising to watch Iran lash out at the very people who were calling for de-escalation and dialogue before the war even began. While UAE's well-equipped and well-financed defense forces have intercepted most of the incoming barrages, these strikes have significantly impacted life across the Emirates. Residents in Dubai and Abu Dhabi have reported hearing loud explosions overheard due to daily interceptions, and missile alarms ring out on phones at all hours. UAE has also been taking action against filming and circulation of sensitive and unverified material. So far, 35 individuals have been reportedly arrested, including 19 Indians, for sharing allegedly misleading and fabricated content on social media.
Iran has renewed its retaliatory attacks in Gulf and in Israel after new strikes targeted its leaders. Let's take a look at what's the latest in the ongoing war in West Asia. Iran expanded its retaliatory missile and drone barrage across the West Asia. An Iranian drone attack struck near the U.S. consulate in Dubai, starting a fire but inflicting no casualties. The attacks came a day after strikes on the U.S. embassies in Riyadh and Kuwait City, as Washington ordered diplomats to evacuate. Interceptions lit up the night sky over Jerusalem late Tuesday as constant rocket salvos from Iran continued. Non-stop Iranian missile fire has sent residents in various areas in Israel in and out of shelters throughout recent days. Air raid sirens rang out across multiple parts of Israel overnight as the military worked to intercept incoming Iranian fire. There were no immediate reports of significant impact, although police said munitions fell in the Tel Aviv area where one woman suffered mild shrapnel injuries. Israel's military launched another broad wave of strikes on targets in Iran. The military said the targets of its latest strikes include Iranian launch sites, air defense systems, and additional infrastructure. The U.S. military says it has struck nearly 2,000 targets so far in Iran. Admiral Brad Cooper of U.S. Central Command claimed that American forces have severely degraded Iran's air defenses and destroyed hundreds of Iran's ballistic missiles, launchers and drones. Well, he also claimed that U.S. has destroyed 17 Iranian ships. Cooper said in simple terms, "We are focused on shooting all the things that can shoot at us," detailing uncontested surgical strikes by B-2 and B-1 bombers.
In the opening hours of Operation Epic Fury, U.S. Central Command forces, together with Israel, delivered overwhelming and unprecedented strikes into Iran. Many of you may remember the shock and awe strikes of 2003. The first 24 hours of this operation were nearly double the scale, and we continue with 24/7 strikes into Iran from seabed to space and cyberspace. Now, we're less than 100 hours into this operation, and we've already struck nearly 2,000 targets with more than 2,000 munitions.
The U.S. military has identified 4 American soldiers killed in the early days of the war with Iran. These soldiers were part of U.S. Army Reserve troops assigned to the 103rd Sustainment Command. They were named as Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant Noah L. Tietjen, Sergeant Nicole Armour, and Sergeant Declan Cody. The soldiers were killed on March 1st at the port of Shuaibah, Kuwait, during a drone attack. For more on this, we are being joined live by David M. Littman from Boston. He is a U.S. Media Research Manager at the Committee for Accuracy in Middle East Reporting and Analysis, and West Asia Analyst. Well, thank you so much, David, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh.
Right, David. So, we just heard that U.S. assets in West Asia are under attack. So, according to you, what are the likely future developments that we are seeing?
So I think where things are going to be going in the near future, we have already seen U.S. and Israeli strikes focus, first on targets of opportunity, being the Iranian leadership to
I left you guys with this big,
snake, so to speak.
With this audio.
Focus has been on eliminating the Iranian military's ability to harm its neighbors, to harm U.S. assets in the region, as well as to harm Israel.
It wasn't too bad.
Focusing on the ballistic missiles, the missile launchers.
I meant to leave these guys' audio on, but
some problems in the past.
In terms of what keeps me up at night, my blood pressure will be elevated until they're under parachutes in the water off the West Coast. There's no plan B there. That's the thermal protection system. The heat shield has to work.
It's the same heat shield that cracked in Artemis 1, and NASA did not replace it. But the space agency says after 2 years of testing, the team felt confident it would work.
It happens fast. It's somewhat violent, but it's pretty exciting.
NASA has described the reentry process as, quote, 13 minutes of things that have to go right. Naval ships are near the SPLASHDOWN site, ready to load the astronauts aboard and get them back home. And New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
All right, Caroline, thanks so much for those updates. We are getting closer.
You see him raise his eyebrows. He's totally hitting on her in the office.
This is going to be for Artemis 2, the astronauts, and really everyone that is going to be involved. In fact, there are so many people that are going to be helping out when you think about it, all over the country tracking this. But we also want to talk about the divers that are going to play an important part in all of this. Take a look at this on X from the U.S. Fleet Forces. This is the first face of the Artemis 2 crew will see upon their return to Earth, will be the face of a U.S.
They're the ones
sailor.
that
Meet the dive medical recovery team of Artemis 2, and there is their photos. They are standing by, and they are ready to welcome our 4 astronauts back home. And for more insight, let's bring in our next guest to help break it all down for us on what this important mission is going to be like for the divers. Please welcome everyone, Thomas McConnell, U.S. Navy diver. We appreciate you joining us here on Live Now from Fox, and also thank you so much for your service. But first off, just tell us
people from all over the world are going to be helping
in the minds now of these divers as they get ready.
They're a little tied up right now.
Anticipation, it's nerves, it's anytime there's a huge evolution, you're thinking about safety, you're thinking about how can I help the guy next to me. But you're also thinking about the astronauts, the brave astronauts that are going to be traveling over 25,000 miles per hour, turning that outside protective layer into plasma in that tense moment where there's going to be absolutely no communications. One of the scariest things when you have a diver deep down in the water, you have an umbilical with a comms cable. When that
I always wanted to be an astronaut, but even the best qualified. Do you know how many people apply that are qualified, that apply to go up into space? Over 1 million people per year apply, supposedly. They're from all over the world, too. And how many people went up? What was it, 5 or 6, something like that? So that you're talking literally like 1 in 1 million. That's your odds, even if you're fully qualified. So, I chose to be in a rock band and do drugs instead, just because those odds were just crushing,
When, it's not something we see every day.
I could have totally done it.
Absolutely not. But there is quite a few Artemis training capsules. They have mock-ups of the Orion that are made of more of a plastic. They're more easier to manage. They've done live training at the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory down in Texas. And also they have the vessel Opportunity out that can submerge and sink, and they can go through all the motions exactly how they're doing it live before it actually happens. So every movement they take, every step they make, every inch they move on the boat has already been rehearsed and perfected.
The song pop in your head too?
No doubt about that. So much has gone into this mission. And lastly, Thomas, I want to get your take. And what did you think when you heard the news that the USS John P. Murtha was going to be at the helm here of this very important mission?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's great, and I'm Godspeed to all the sailors that are out there doing this incredible recovery, from the guys working in the galley, the guys working in the engine room, the guys that are going and receive the capsule. Kahuya for every one of y'all. It's a proud moment for everybody here in San Diego. It's a proud moment for the United States, and I'm so glad we can share it here right home in San Diego.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Thomas McConnell, thanks so much for joining us on Live Down from Fox. We always appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone. We want to continue our coverage. Let's go out now at NASA special coverage of the Artemis II mission coming back home. Splashdown is next.
No, it's not. It's still an hour and a half away.
Always going to the moon.
Pushing ourselves to explore is just
However,
part of who we are. It's a part of being a human.
I kind of want to pull it up on... Yeah, we're going to pull it up on NASA's. I'm going to have both.
Continuing to test out.
I'm going to have it on...
Coming back to Earth, 7 miles a second.
I'm going to have it on a few different ones. Maybe there's different angles and get some cool shots. Yeah.
People on planet Earth putting this vehicle together to innovate for the benefit of humanity and to inspire the world through discovery.
And here we go.
Down here at the bottom, that's NASA's feed.
Standard Time. The Command Module America splashes down in the Pacific.
Up here,
Gene
obviously,
Cernan, Ron Evans, and Jack Schmidt aboard as the Apollo 17 mission came to an end, along with humanity's first series of expeditions to the moon. From their flight around the moon and historic lunar flyby that will culminate with that splashdown.
I'm going to make NASA bigger.
Just 1 hour and 35 minutes from now.
Like I said.
And with that, it's a good entry pad, and we can continue.
So in the top right of your screen is the live feed from NASA.
Integrity. You're looking at a live view inside Integrity. Reed Wiseman on the left doing a fist bump with pilot Victor Glover on the right, and down in the middeck area just below their feet, suited up in their launch and entry suits, are mission specialists Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen of the Canadian Space Agency.
Oh, if you're wondering, if anybody's wondering what the QR code here is on the bottom left of your screen, that QR code is if you happen to want to send a donation. You don't have to, but if you happen to want to, I would really prefer you use that method instead of Super Chats, because YouTube likes to take almost 40% of those. And if you do the QR code, I get all of it instead of YouTube getting 40% of it. It's not quite 40%. It's something like that. It might be like 30 or 28. I really don't know what it is, because nobody ever sends them to me, but I know it's high. So yeah, that's straight to my Venmo, I think. Yeah.
Those launch entry suits conducted leak checks and now are in the final stages of their entry checklist.
Instruction 115 of entry checklist. That's at separation ATP is go.
Houston copies.
The next major milestone on the route home.
Hey, look, they lined up to where they both have the same thing on the screen.
We copy. Thanks for the status.
Jackie Mahaffey talking to Reed Wiseman aboard Integrity.
Integrity.
The spacecraft now about 12,000 nautical miles from the Earth's surface. The next major milestone on tap for the crew will be the handover of communications from the Deep Space Network to the Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System.
The Deep
Space
right
Network
here.
came into play after the translunar injection burn back on April 2nd that propelled Integrity.
Do me a favor, if you haven't already, do me a favor and hit the like button, guys.
In about 41 minutes.
That would be totally awesome.
The next activity will be the pyrotechnic separation of the crew module from the European service module. That is scheduled at 6:33 p.m. Central Time, followed 4 minutes later by one final critical maneuver. That will be a 19-second burn of Integrity's thrusters in what is called the crew module raise burn. Now what that does is it basically acts, if you were sitting in a reclining chair, you'd basically tilt yourself back. It raises the aft end of Integrity ever so slightly, and that is the final opportunity for us to fine-tune the angle of attack of Integrity through the area of peak heating at entry interface. That will come a bit later on, about an hour and 18 minutes from now. So after the raise burn, we will be in the
I just sent a link to this stream to a bunch of my personal friends in the hopes that they would show up and come say hi.
400,000 feet. Entry interface. This is the critical time where the crew will reach the first traces of Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet. Traveling 34,000
I got banned on Twitter
feet per second.
for sharing too many times.
Just
Like they suspended my account, dicks.
We will experience a communications blackout expected to last 6 minutes in duration. This is planned, and it is caused by the interaction of the velocity of Integrity with the friction of Earth's atmosphere. There will be a buildup of plasma around the vehicle, and that ionization will prevent any communications with the crew and any receipt of data by flight controllers here in Mission Control. That blackout is scheduled to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time. Again, a 6-minute blackout that will end, if all goes as planned, at 6:59 and 55 seconds p.m. Central
They got it down to the second.
At that point,
That's so great.
Communications with the
That's
crew
math.
and
That's so cool.
of data,
It's so cool that you can do that.
tracking and
You know what I
data
mean?
relay satellite system.
It's very nerdy to think so, but sorry, I think it's really cool that I think intelligence is cool. And that's just cool.
That will bleed off excess energy as we begin our peak period of velocity. We expect to reach a maximum velocity of 24,661.21 miles per hour, equivalent to about Mach 33, 33 times the speed of sound.
Yeah,
shortly after
33 times the speed of sound.
Once we exit the blackout period, of course, we're in the denser regions of the Earth's atmosphere, and then we get set up for the parachute deployment sequence. First, the deployment of 3 forward bay cover chutes that will pull essentially the top forward bay cover off the very top of the Integrity vehicle. That will be followed by the deployment of drogue chutes, and then the final deployment of a series of 3 main parachutes at 7:04 and 44 seconds p.m. Central Time. From that point on, it is about 3 minutes or so until splashdown. Splashdown scheduled at 7:07
Is that the technical term for it?
seconds p.m. Central Time at a gentle speed of 19 miles an hour. So just to give you some perspective, at the time that we enter the Earth's atmosphere, we're traveling somewhere around Mach 32. We will splash down at a speed of about 19 miles an hour. The G-forces that will build on the crew members inside Integrity will build to about 3.9 Gs. That is what is expected and what they have trained for and what the spacecraft is designed to support.
They just went silent. Huh? Hello?
The latest weather forecast out in the recovery zone on the crew members inside Integrity. Forecast from our meteorologists here at the Spaceflight Meteorology Group at the Johnson Space
We're over here. We're over here celebrating technological triumph over here, flying people out to the moon and back. Meanwhile, at the bottom of your screen, the rest of the
move closer. So at the time of splashdown, we'll be about 5 miles away, and then we will move to 3.2 miles away. At that point, we'll pause, make sure that all the debris that might be coming down with Orion, because basically some parts of like the parachute system, they're jettisoned.
It's going to break up a little bit. Yeah, there's going to be stuff.
That those all land in the water, and that we are safe to move even closer. So we will make sure that we can move a little closer, and at that point we will move to a mile away from Orion. And at that point the ship will circle the capsule while NASA and Navy recovery forces work to get our astronauts out, and we should have great views of the bow from here. But also we have a ton of cameras all around the ship. For example, we actually have some cameras right to the left of me here on the bow. These are very strong, stabilized cameras. We can really get up close to make sure that we are sharing all the images we have available to you. We also will have some views from above. We actually have 5 planes providing live views of splashdown today. In fact, some of those aerial assets just took off from San Diego minutes
Is it just me, or are they significantly lower volume than I am?
2 in the back. Those will take off in about 30 minutes from now, also with live cameras. So again, lots and lots of imagery that we hope to share with you today. And then those 2 helos in the front, those 2 will pluck the crew out of the water and fly them back to our ship.
The 2 helos.
Team here on the ship, more than 550 people.
She was waiting all day to say helos.
Days ago, and since then I've watched different teams train every day, rehearse, final preps to make sure that they're ready for today. So to give us more of an update about how recovery is going on right now, why don't we turn over to Paul here, Paul Serpinski. He is the
Serpinski?
Recovery Director.
That's not a real name.
Absolutely. So you just left the landing forces operations center here on the ship. How are we looking for recovery?
We're looking pretty hot.
When I left, they were just
whatever her name is.
Weather briefing with Mission Control Center in Houston, or will be imminently.
Imminently?
So yeah, it's just coming along great.
Yeah. It's really nice to see. We did see some of those boats float behind us. We were hoping to give you a live view, but of course they floated right out of the camera shot as you came to us. But so basically the team right now here on the ship, basically like monitoring mode, but really things will pick up about 15 minutes after splashdown.
Yeah, so a couple minutes before splashdown, things start happening really, really fast. Some events during the re-entry, they're maybe a second or 2 apart, and so it just takes a whole lot of effort and a lot of updates back and forth between us and Houston to try to keep track of everything that's happening, all in real time. And then after splashdown, that's when the recovery team really kicks into high gear.
I'm gonna drown a brown clown down in Splashtown.
Our divers doing hazardous assessments.
Say that the next time you're gonna go take a dump.
Making sure it's safe for all of our people to go in, and it's also safe for the astronauts to come out, because really at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, is we're to make sure that the astronauts get home safe after their tremendous journey to the moon and back. But then also we have, like you mentioned on a minute ago, all of our imagery helicopters are taking imagery, camera shots of it as it's coming in all the way through splashdown. I mean, they'll see it as soon as it crosses the horizon, all the way to the ocean here.
And then afterwards, we have to recover actually Orion to bring it into the well deck of the ship.
Absolutely, yeah. And so once the astronauts are safe on board, then those same dive teams are going to transition into securing the capsule. They'll position some equipment around it to kind of facilitate that. The ship will move into position. We'll attach a really big winch line to it, and then a bunch of tendon lines. We'll pull the capsule around behind the ship and then start to slowly bring it in. And then, Orion comes in, goes hard down, and everyone cheers.
Yeah, great day, exactly. Lots to coordinate, a lot to manage. Basically planning for this recovery, Artemis 2 recovery, started a month after Artemis 1 launched. That was the uncrewed test flight of the Space Launch System rocket, as well as the Orion spacecraft. That was November 2022, a month later, all the planning for this. How does it feel to be so close to welcoming our friends, our astronauts home?
It feels good. Feels good.
I walked around the ship this morning, just kind of visiting with a lot of people, a lot of groups, and just kind of get the feel of them. And everyone has that same kind of mentality. Everyone's excited. Everyone's thrilled to see all that work that we've been doing, like you said, for the last 3 years, since right after the last one came back.
You know what's really cool?
Even further back. Some of them go back.
What's really cool is we're not missing anything. What's really cool is oh God, when was this? I forget exactly when it was, but whenever that spacecraft, that automated thing we sent out, I can't remember the name of the craft. When we went to Pluto and we took pictures of Pluto, I don't remember when it was, but I know it took 10 years to get there, right? And I remember my son God, if I could remember what year that was, this story would make more sense. I remember when they launched it, I remember sitting next to my son, and he was young, very young, because he's only 20 now. I remember when they launched it, I remember looking at him and telling him that when you're whatever age you would have been, they'll be getting there. And then we happened to be sitting next to each other when it came time to say, hey, look, it's been 10 years. And we both had a moment of, wow, 10 years. I thought that was cool. It's one of those things I guess you can't appreciate unless you're a parent. But I mean, I would imagine anybody could appreciate the time thing there. It was really cool. Really cool pictures too.
We are expecting it to splash down upright in what is called the stable 1 configuration, with the top of the spacecraft pointed upward. Stable 2 would indicate that it is upside down.
Okay. Their volume isn't as loud as I would like it to be, so I'm going to put NASA down the bottom, and I'm going to put these guys right here up at the top so we can listen to them, watch how much louder they are.
Splashdown occurs.
Boom.
The flight control team here in Houston will be monitoring the orientation of the Integrity spacecraft. We are expecting it to splash down upright in what is called the stable 1 configuration, with the top of the spacecraft pointed upward. Stable 2 would indicate that it is upside down in the water.
So, face down, ass up, is that what we're saying? That's what we need?
There will be 5 inflatable airbags called the CMOOS system. That's the acronym for Crew Module Uprighting System.
We are at 2 complete.
Right.
Houston, copy.
Reed Wiseman acknowledging that the final steps in suit donning are now complete for the crew. Leak checks have been completed earlier. The CMOOS system, those 5 inflatable airbags, will be inflated with helium. Those airbags will ensure that the vehicle remains upright. While that activity is going on, the flight control team here will be checking the systems on integrity, also making sure that there's no leakage of toxic gas from the spacecraft. It should take about 15 minutes from splashdown to the power down of all of the systems on integrity. And at that point, assuming everything is in a nominal fashion, then the green light will be given for the Navy recovery teams to begin to make their way closer to integrity, to begin the erection of a large inflatable life raft called a front porch that will be buttressed up alongside the hatchway to the spacecraft. That life raft will be used to bring the crew members out of the vehicle once the hatch is open, one by one.
Oh yeah,
They'll get
open
their
your hatch.
landlords back after 9 days of weightlessness before they're put in harnesses to be hoisted one by one in sequential fashion and in alternating fashion to the 2 hovering Navy helicopters overhead.
Integrity for status.
Head.
Go ahead.
Head.
Seats 3 and 4 are connecting umbilicals. We're going to be stepping into leak check soon. 1 and 2 will be seated. 3 and 4 will be free float, and we'll configure EPOC accordingly.
Houston, copies all.
Reed Wiseman talking about the current procedures with the suiting of the crew members and subsequent
We are not going to miss anything while they yak about their procedures, and I can't imagine anybody really cares. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch things blow up and explode, because I just love this war in Iran. Right. Don't you? Doesn't it just warm your heart? Is there any sound to this? No, just music. You know what? I'm going to leave that music on. I like it. Nice and subtle. So this is just a live feed of like news and radar. I found this quite interesting. It's on a small channel, and it's just called Iran War Monitor. But this is an, as you can read on your screen there, an Israel air raid alert map. I wonder what programs he's using for these alerts. Radio traffic. Wow, this is pretty cool. They need to turn their music up a little bit. Oh, I can overdrive it. Don't know how overdriven it sounds to you guys. How does it sound? Is it all that loud at all, guys? I can't tell. I can't tell what y'all hear. Yeah. That's some cool. That's a cool song. I'm digging it. Well, that's gonna stay. I'm gonna leave that music on while we watch this.
Changed the trajectory of the entry from a skip entry that was about a 3,000-mile transit across the Pacific Ocean. We are expecting now from entry interface to the point of splashdown to have a range of just 1,701 nautical miles, and that in of itself will reduce the exposure time of heating on the heat shield of the spacecraft.
Yeah, maybe no. Maybe
Once
not.
the raise burn is complete, then the stage is set
Ruin
for
the vibe.
entry interface at 6:53 and 31 seconds p.m. Central Time. That means that Integrity will be entering the Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling at about 34,882 feet per second for its splashdown site off the coast of San Diego, as you just heard from Megan Cruz on the deck of the USS John Murtha.
That's fast.
Splashdown once again under those three main parachutes is expected at 7:07 and 8 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time,
right.
2.5 hours
8:07
before
p.m.
sunset. The actual total
Eastern
distance
Standard
traveled
Time
for Integrity from launch to splashdown is estimated at 694,481 statute miles.
That's,
now that includes the first high.
That's farther away than the Walmart is.
Integrity to move to 43,000 miles above the Earth at its apogee and enabling a 24-hour period of systems checkouts before the flight control team here and the mission management team gave approval for Integrity to conduct its translunar.
You know what? I need to go have a smoke real quick because I'm staying with a friend and they get back around 7 and I want to smoke one last smoke.
4,481 statute miles.
I'll be back. Shit. What the fuck?
With everything proceeding on track and on time aboard Integrity, the vehicle system's in excellent shape as the Earth grows larger in the field of view. Let's go back to the USS John Murtha and Megan Cruz, who is standing by.
Hey, yeah, Rob, welcome back. Again, we are out in the Pacific Ocean, staged just about 6.5 miles from where we expect Orion to splash down now in just over an hour. How exciting. And the weather, awesome conditions here. I know you see some wind blowing around my hair, but really nothing to speak of when it comes to having to recover our astronauts, as well as no waves here, really. So yeah, we're expecting a really great day. Also, hopefully, some really great views. You can see behind me that some of the clouds are starting to break up, so that's really exciting. And now, of course, this ship has a lot of people ready and excited to welcome our crew back home, including Dr. Rick Schuring here. He is a NASA flight surgeon. Great to have you here, Rick.
You too, Megan. It is a blessing to be out here this day with our teams. We've trained 3 years for this nonstop with the U.S. Navy and along with EGS, and we've so looked forward to this day. And you know, just by God's grace, everything's parting, the skies and everything. The crew's doing great. Looking forward to coming back, and our teams are ready. So this is one of those days you've dreamt about, and now it's finally here, and we're ready, and just thankful to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you play a really integral role. When was the last time you spoke to the crew, and how are they feeling in this last hour before splashdown?
Sure. Yeah, so the crew woke up, when they splashed down, they were woken up about 8.5 hours ago. Me and my fellow crew surgeons, Doctors Chris Haas and Rafi Kumjian from this Canadian Space Agency, spoke with them about 6.5 hours ago just to double check on how they were doing, if there's any medical issues, you know, how they slept, and then kind of go over their landing day protocol for their medications, for what we call a fluid load, to try to replace some of the fluid and electrolytes that they've lost with just a normal space adaptation. Once they got to space, they kind of have to replace some of that fluid to help them with the whole landing kind of readaptation to 1G, which they haven't done for the last 10 days. And then just kind of let them know how things are going to play out, you know, out with the open water teams all the way until we finally get to the med deck. So they were very pumped up, very hurried though. They had a lot of cabin configuration, a lot of things to get ready. So they're excited, but also very focused on the job that they had to do. So like again, we've trained a long time for this, and we're ready.
And you said some medications. I mean, those are kind of just to mitigate the effects of, obviously, their more than 695,000 mile journey back to Earth. It's just like anti-nausea medication, right?
Yeah, exactly, Megan. The you know, astronauts are very healthy, fortunately, and even when they come back in reentry, you know, the human system is very kind of dynamic. It has to readapt very quickly, and one of the most common responses they get is just some stomach awareness, to some nausea, even to some vomiting. And you know, with our crews that land out in Karagana, the Soyuz crews or our SpaceX crews, you know, they all kind of experience the same thing. This will be the first time we're landing in water since December 1972, and I worked with all the Apollo astronauts years ago, and they all told me that, you know, landing in the water, especially in the Pacific, can be very provocative. So we take steps to give them medicines to really mitigate some of that nausea, vomiting, help them feel a little bit better, and also sometimes just use a little anti-inflammatory medicine just to help with coming back to 1 Earth, or 1G. The effects of microgravity, especially as you age and you have a little arthritis, you feel great in microgravity, and everyone kind of curses coming back to the ground, like, oh, dang, 1G, but so that helps a little bit. But for the most part, the main thing is just replacing that fluid and then trying to help them with that transition back to 1G, and then we're ready to go.
Yeah, and their health is assessed almost immediately after they splash down.
Yeah, so we have Dr. Jesse Wang, and we have our independent duty corpsmen, who are the Navy version of paramedics, extremely highly trained, highly experienced Navy medics and divers, who will go out there, open the capsule about 25, 28 minutes after splashdown and do the first initial assessment. So Jesse and his team will go out there and look at each crew, kind of do their assessments, get vital signs, report back to Drs. Haas and Kumji and I back in the med bay, let them know how they're doing, and then you know, if they've got the normal kind of space adaptation kind of things, we expect that they're good to go on that. If anything, you know, didn't go the way we want, they're all prepared for that as well. And Jesse and his team, I mean, you know, this is their full-time job, taking care of, you know, sailors and folks who might be injured. We don't expect any injuries, but coming back, you know, going 25,000 miles an hour down to, you know, 20, you know, miles an hour is still a dynamic process. I've heard it described as, you know, kind of like a car crash. And then the crew will be ready to go, and Jesse and his team will make that transition to get them out to the front porch, do assessments on them again, call it to our med bay, and then once we have that and they're all good to go and the crew's feeling okay, we'll hoist them up in the helos. It's about a 3-minute flight back to the flight deck, and that's where me and the astronaut chief, Scott Tingle, will actually meet them. I'll get eyes on them, make sure they're all good, just take very slow transitions, and then one by one we'll either get them out with the SMTs, the SAR med techs, under each arm, just, you know, kind of just walk them very slowly to med bay, which actually helps them acclimate back to 1G. Or if they really don't have their sea legs back yet, then we might put them in what we call a stair chair, which will be right behind them, and then just very slowly kind of get them back into med bay to start our full assessments for the team.
Yeah, so a really great team here to support them as soon as they get back, and also all throughout the mission, of course. You talked a little bit about this, but obviously, you know, we have seen astronauts return from the International Space Station for over 25 years, so we kind of know that that journey, how it affects the body. But yes, we're talking about humans returning from the moon for the first time since 1972. How is this different from your perspective?
So it's different in one very significant respect. With on Apollo, for exercise, they had something called the Apollo Exergenia, which was basically just a little canister with some ropes, and they would have some resistance and kind of do that. And the Apollo astronauts really liked that. They liked the ability to exercise, because you decondition from a musculoskeletal standpoint, you lose your strength and your stamina very quickly. We had something called the Orion flywheel, which was able to impart much greater loads in terms of resistance, so they're able to do squats, deadlifts, different things, not dissimilar to what the ISS astronauts do, but with a lot less room to do it. And they also did rowing activities for cardiovascular health, and the crews loved it. But for the lunar crews, the future lunar crews, maintaining that physical conditioning, which our astronaut strength conditioning rehabilitation specialists, affectionately known as the ACERs, back in Houston, really worked hard to get them in the best shape they're going to, have to be in to get to the moon. That device hopefully will maintain that. And Apollo only had about a 4.3-day journey to the moon. Our astronauts are going to have about a 10 to 14-day journey. Right. So maintaining that physical fitness, that strength and stamina is going to be crucial for the success of being able to do those very physically demanding lunar EVAs. Right. So we're very excited about what the astronauts have said about the device and what they have to say about the role exercise plays, going to the moon. And also the mental benefit. Sure. They just really like sweating, breaking the sweat, and actually just feeling like, they're just getting a workout.
Right.
So
thank you so much, Rick. I really appreciate it. I know they're going to be in good hands, so we'll let you get back to it. Thank you so much.
Megan, thanks for the time.
Back to you, Rob.
Okay, Megan, back here in Mission Control in Houston. Everything is moving along in order. This view of Reed Wiseman on the left, Victor Glover on the right. We have good suit leak checks. Everything aboard integrity is in excellent shape. The vehicle with the Earth growing larger and larger in the field of view. We're now just about 8,200 nautical miles away from Earth and closing in for a splashdown just 1 hour and 5.
I just wanted to let everybody know, as soon as the people I'm staying with come home, which is they're already due to be here, they're bringing groceries. I'll have to run out there and help them unload groceries too, because I'm just such a nice guy. Just want to let you know. So y'all been chilling, enjoying this sweet, sweet music. That's good stuff. I like it. I'm glad it hasn't changed into something that sucks. We're just going to chill right here like this and rock out for the next hour. Can you even hear the music? No. Now you can.
Skip entry in which we performed an initial dip into the atmosphere to bleed off some energy. Then we skipped out of the atmosphere and dipped back into the atmosphere before splashing down in the Pacific. But after the mission was over with, we noticed unexpected liberation of some of the charring effects on the heat shield known as
liberation of the charring.
Before the flight, we had an opportunity to sit down and talk with Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling to get a perspective on what this all means and how the mission was redesigned to try to protect Integrity's heat shield to a higher extent. Let's take a look at that interview.
Extend.
Returning from the moon is a lot different than deorbiting from low Earth orbit. When we return from the moon, we expect to achieve velocities upwards of 36,000 feet per second. And in order to slow down to a nice, graceful splashdown in the Pacific Ocean, the flight crew is going to experience between 3 and 4 times the force of Earth's gravity. On Artemis 1, pressure buildup inside the
like the gravitron
heat shield resulted in the char losses we saw. NASA established a Tiger team whose job was to investigate the cause of the problem and then make recommendations on how to fly the Artemis 2 mission safely and successfully. And so for Artemis 2, we are going to fly a profile that ensures the spacecraft will not see that same type of pressure profile. And so the char losses seen on Artemis 2
didn't know there was an echo.
like the ones that we saw on Artemis 1.
Fix it. I think.
Rick Henfling indicated that the orientation of the spacecraft and the shortening of the distance of transit to the splashdown zone from the point of entry interface when we reach the top of the Earth's atmosphere, which will be coming up at 6:53 and 30 seconds p.m. Central Time, should do the trick in minimizing the deleterious forces against that heat shield that were noticed on the Artemis 1 mission.
We think we see a beautiful sunrise over the west coast of Australia.
We copy.
Commander Reed Wiseman reveling in his final hour in space on this mission.
Deleterious forces.
As Integrity is passing over the southwest coast of Australia now at an altitude of some 7,600 nautical miles.
There's no good reason
will
for
begin
that.
the southwest and northeasterly transit across the Pacific Ocean. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the highlights and some of the numbers associated with the points of interest here. We are 27 and a half minutes away from crew module, service module separation. That will be followed about 3.5 minutes later by the raise burn that we've discussed, a 19-second burn of Integrity's thrusters to fine-tune its angle of attack as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. Entry interface is scheduled 47.5 minutes from now. That's the point at which we will reach the top of the Earth's atmosphere, traveling about 34,882 feet per second at an altitude of 400,000 feet. Just 24 seconds after entry interface, we will begin a blackout period of 6 minutes in duration at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time. Now, now, about 10 seconds after the blackout period begins, we are expected to reach peak speed, which would be 24,661 miles an hour. That'll be about 103 miles an hour short of the velocity record set by the Apollo 10 astronauts, Tom Stafford, Gene Cernan, and John Young, when they returned from the moon on the Apollo 10 mission in 1969. That blackout period is expected to last 6 minutes in duration. At 6:54 and 52 seconds p.m. Central Time, we'll reach our peak heating period of about 4,000 to 5,000 degrees while we're in a communications blackout from Integrity and its astronauts. That blackout should end at 6:59 and 55 seconds p.m. Central Time.
All right, now I'm trying to avoid these echoes that I'm hearing. Can somebody tell me exactly what you're hearing right now other than my voice? It should just be music. Really good music too. Yes, it's just music. But when I kick on the audio from this video, I hear it echoed on the stream, not in my headphones. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to try just seeing Newsmax's excuse me.
The activities
there we
from
go.
the start of entry interface to the point of splashdown will be quite rapid fire. just 13.5 minutes from the point at which we begin descent into the Earth's atmosphere till splashdown. And just to show you, as Rick Shearing, the flight surgeon, alluded to in his interview with Megan Cruz, all of this happens to decelerate the vehicle from traveling around Mach 33 to just 19 miles an hour at splashdown. All of that happening in just 13.5 minutes. But the vehicle and the parachutes are all designed to support all of that, so we'll be standing by to report all that to you in sequential fashion as these milestones are ticked off and as we hear from the crew during its entry back into the Earth's atmosphere, and ultimately when they emerge from the
There's a
blackout
shift
period.
in the
Shut
air.
up.
You feel it before you see it.
Away from splashdown.
Longer days.
That's
fewer
the price
legs.
we pay for such slick music in the background,
So with
baby.
all of those preparations ongoing, we can return here briefly for another report from the USS John P. Murtha.
And I just wanted to let you guys know that the QR code that you see on your screen is just in case anybody feels like donating. You don't have to. I'm just putting it there instead of the super chat function, which you're free to use if you want. It's whatever. It's your call. If anybody wants to donate, that's totally your call. But the only reason I put the QR code up instead is because if you are going to donate, I'd really prefer you use the QR code, because that's Venmo. It goes straight to me, and they don't charge any fees, whereas YouTube will keep damn near 40% of the super chats, which that's a lot, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, if anybody finds it in their heart to throw me a bone, that's totally up to you, but I just wanted to let you know. I guess it would be a good time to also let everybody know that I'm technically homeless, and I'm staying with a friend of mine, and I have overstayed my welcome for sure. I told her initially that I only needed to be here for a couple of weeks, waiting on my tax refund. Well, there's been some sort of snafu with the IRS, and it's been 10 weeks when it was only supposed to take 3. And I'm literally waiting on them to send out a letter before I can amend my tax return and fix it. I already know what the issue is. They told me not to send it in until they send me the letter because they would just bog the system down. So I'm like, you know, here in limbo. So like I'm literally like maybe 2 weeks away from being fine. It's just, she's about to toss me out. And if that happens, I'm going to be sleeping in my car because I don't have any cash for a hotel room or none of that. And I can't exactly go to a homeless shelter because I've got a cat, my 11-year-old kitty, who, incidentally, she's about to turn 11, and she turns 11 right around when my birthday is this month, on the 25th. So yeah, that's all I'll say about it. No pressure, but I just wanted to let you know, if you do want to send some sort of donation, please use the QR code instead of the super chat. That's it.
50 people. It's something that you oversee as commanding officer.
Yeah, absolutely. Every commanding officer, I would say really every naval service member, our priority is always safety. And as a commanding officer, I take that as one of my primary roles here on board. Mission accomplishment is important, safety always. So my day really has, I would say my message to the crew has sort of changed over the past 24 hours. As we're leading up to today, we've been building up excitement and motivating the team for the training that we've
Actually, I'm going to make that smaller because I don't need to be watching this.
Trust our training, right? Don't believe all the hype. Don't believe everything that's going on. Just let's trust what we've done to get to this point, and if we do that, we'll be successful today.
And also part of the big success is obviously the coordination between NASA and the U.S. military. How does it feel being able to support the human space program we have?
Human space program. Why do you need to qualify it with human? We can just assume that, right?
But like any other,
I mean, we don't have a bovine space system. What the hell was that? Oh, Hezbollah rocket attack damages a 1,500-year-old Israeli church.
Alert! Threat! Hezbollah rocket attack damages 1,500-year-old Israeli church.
Weird. It's an interesting page. Got really cool music every now and then.
USS John P.
Hezbollah rocket.
The work everyone's doing.
Yeah, you had some great words this morning saying just that again, that it's really nice to see everybody working together and so excited. I mean, you just became the commanding officer of this ship back in February. How does it personally feel for you to be a part of this historic moment today?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'd say any opportunity to command any warship in the United States Navy is a tremendous honor. It is a pinnacle of any naval officer's career. That being said, my command of change of command.
I don't know why, but
Artemis is going to be in the window.
this guy reminds me of that. Y'all seen that movie Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser? He's like, I'll just give 110% and like to thank the Lord, and I'll just give it 110%. I don't know why I thought of that movie. He doesn't look anything like Brendan Fraser.
I think we're making NASA better together. That synergy is something that
I just thought.
I'm happy to see and hopefully take forward with me.
You're going to give 110%, you know?
We couldn't have gone to the moon without our international partners as well. So thank you so much, Captain. It was really great to have you here today.
Thanks, Megan.
Awesome. All right, Rob, back to you.
Thank you, Megan. Back here in Mission Control in Houston.
Thank you, Megan.
We just had a quick view of the crew. We'll get that view back, and there they are again. Here in Mission Control, the entry team of flight controllers led by Rick Hensley and Jackie Mahaffey serving as the spacecraft communicator. We have just handed over communications links from the Deep Space Network that we communicated with the crew through from the time of the translunar injection burn back on April 2nd.
Still an echo.
Just handed back to the Tracking and Data Relay satellite system as we prepare for the crew module, service module separation that will take place just 17 minutes from now. With the Earth looming in front of Integrity as it barrels back for a splashdown of the Pacific just 50 minutes from now.
That got rid of the echo.
5,700 nautical miles from splashdown. Just one other quick note about.
But I can't hear the music. See if that.
From the Artemis 1 entry profile to the Artemis 2 entry profile, and how that is serving as a extra layer of protection for Integrity's heat shield. The Artemis 1 entry had an entry range of some 3,178 nautical miles, a very long downtrack, and a very longer period of exposure to heat loads than we're experiencing tonight. It also had that skip entry profile that we discussed earlier, dipping into the Earth's atmosphere, then back out, then back in. It was about 20 minutes of exposure.
Yeah, there's only one way I'm going to be able to do what I'm trying to do. And you know what? I'm going to do it.
We have it loud and clear on Tidris.
Let's see.
We have you the same.
Blink. About to
And
fix it
there's
right
one of the
now,
weather balloons
baby.
being deployed from the USS John P. Murtha. So the Artemis 1 entry.
My partner shouted, "Our checking account is at zero. We're out of business." I told him, my Irish grandmother had a toast, "Spend and God shall send."
Reed, we are watching. We are starting to get into the window where they may start acquiring, so should be within the next 10 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. We're holding at step 17.
One person speaking instead of a
Computers
double.
that they're on track down the center line of the corridor for the entry interface that will lead them to their splashdown point. Once again, the Artemis 1 entry exposed the heat shield for about 20 minutes of peak heating. For Artemis 2, we're going to reach a downtrack distance of 1,701 nautical miles from the point of entry interface with just 14 minutes of duration. And it's basically a different angle of attack, a little bit steeper angle of attack that will protect the heat shield from excessive heat loads. So that is the difference between Artemis 1 and Artemis 2, all designed into this mission to gather data, to protect the heat shield, since the Artemis 3 mission and beyond will have a different designed heat shield that will allow that skip entry type of
that's as good as we're gonna get.
to be resumed for all of the future missions coming back from the south pole of the moon when we initiate lunar landings. So we've handed over to the tracking and data relay satellite system. That's where we'll have communications for the rest of the flight. Just to give you some time hacks here, we're 13.5 minutes away from crew module, service module separation, and just 17 minutes away from the raise burn, that 19-second firing of the thrusters that will basically be the final fine-tuning of the angle of attack for integrity as it enters the Earth's atmosphere.
I've got 3 videos of the Artemis. One of them's got a little countdown. Isn't that nice? You know what? I'm gonna steal just their clock. Using you for your clock. That's right. Give me your clock. I just love clock. I'm using you for your
and
clock.
Once again, a dueling box view of some of the assets
There we go, baby.
that are involved in recovery operations today. The
integrity, cabin configured, all crew suited and seated.
Houston, copy.
That confirmation from Reed Wiseman aboard Integrity, as you see the assets being deployed to the splashdown zone.
Assets.
At the time of splashdown, we expect the John P. Murtha to be about 5 miles away from Integrity, keeping a safe distance until we are sure that the vehicle is in the
I can't wait to see that clock go all the way down and to see how close they got it nailed. It's going to be to the second. But I hope to see the Artemis touching the water right when it hits 0. Watch. Math is so cool. Or I should say, we're so cool that we can do this, right? Isn't that cool?
Thrusters, that will be a hot fire test.
A hot fire.
Prior to the
it's a little redundant, doesn't it?
Crew module from the service module. The European service module has performed flawlessly throughout this flight. Everything, all the burns that had been prescribed for that service module have been executed on time and without a problem. There is the European flight control room.
Wait a minute, what?
That has overseen the manufacturing, the design of the European service module. Thrusters, that will be a hot fire test for not only propelling the Integrity and its astronauts toward the moon, but also performed flawlessly throughout this flight. Everything, all the burns that had been prescribed for that service module have been executed on time. And without a problem, there is the European flight control room that has overseen the manufacturing, the design of the European service module. They deserve quite a bit of credit on this mission for not only propelling the Integrity and its astronauts toward the moon, but also conducting the fine-tuning of its trajectory to bring it to this point where we are dead spot on down the middle of the corridor trajectory-wise to bring Integrity down for its splashdown in the Pacific just 44 minutes from now.
Gonna drown a brown clown down in Splashtown. That song's cool. Right. We're getting the helos up. Or not.
What you're looking at is a computer-generated visualization based on real-time telemetry from Integrity. Currently traveling about 16,000 miles an hour.
Huh?
Integrity traveling about 16,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, you said that. Somebody's got their wires crossed.
Copy that.
Now just about 5,100 miles from Earth. Splashdown scheduled 43 minutes from now.
So in 40 minutes, they're going to travel 5,000 miles.
Service module separation.
Badass. That's pretty damn awesome. 45 minutes, 5,000 miles. Dude. You can't travel much more than 50 miles in that time.
We are
confirming.
Integrity, we are assessing details, but so far looks like a good hot fire.
Hot fire, hot fire.
Looks good on board, Jackie. Thank you.
And Jackie Mahaffey took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that we had a good hot fire test of the thrusters in advance of the crew module service module separation that's coming up just 8.5 minutes from now.
I wouldn't be surprised if y'all could hear that fan.
We'll begin the period in which we will have rapid-fire succession of critical activities on board that will lead to entry interface just 28 minutes from now, where the vehicle will enter the Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet. The time of entry interface, 6:53 and 30 seconds p.m. Central Time. Integrity's astronauts were awakened at mid-morning to begin their entry preparations. And propulsion officer now reports a good hot fire test in preparation for the crew module service module separation.
Good hot fire test. These people are
now inside 41 minutes until
very
splashdown.
Inconsistent with their
Integrity Houston, we have confirmed a good CMRCS hot fire. And although we are not seeing GPS acquired yet, you can skip the troubleshooting steps in 157 for now.
Integrity copies.
That GPS discussion indicating that we will be acquiring navigational data for Integrity through the global positioning system equipment on board. We just don't have it yet, but we will. All of Integrity's systems are in great shape to support its high-speed entry into the Earth's atmosphere. It once again will reach a peak speed of 24,661.21 miles an hour.
You're calling GPS. We at least have GPS 1 looking good on board.
We are confirming.
The guidance, navigation, and control officer here in Mission Control confirming that we have good lock on GPS data.
If somebody's
we are
here
on a communications link now
the
through
damn
the
fan
tracking
running,
and
I
data
can't
relay
hear a damn
satellite
thing.
system.
I'll just have to
following
sweat.
Splashdown, we're going to lose that link and go to what's called a VLDR, a very low data rate communications link.
What'd you call me?
So that we can talk to the crew inside Integrity as they are on the water.
Integrity, confirm we do see good GPS.
We do too, especially GPS 1 is accepting in nav channels 1 and 3.
That GPS data is basically telling Integrity's onboard computers its position relative to the Earth, but its trajectory and its orientation according to flight dynamics and the guidance, navigation, and control officer is spot on. We have now armed the pyros for the crew module service module separation coming up less than 5 minutes from now. Once again, just 10 seconds after entry interface, we will see Integrity reaching its peak speed of 24,661.21 miles per hour. That will be just seconds before we begin a 6-minute blackout period.
Integrity, Houston. Your vehicle is in a good config for CM-SM set and go for CM raise.
Houston, we see the same on board and copy go for CM raise.
That CM raise referred to as the slight firing of 19 seconds by Integrity's thrusters with a change in velocity of 9.9 feet per second, a slight nudge of the aft end of the vehicle so that it's tilted a bit upward, providing the final angle of attack as the vehicle enters the Earth's atmosphere. This being the mitigating factor that will reduce heat loads on the heat shield as we reach a point downrange from the start of entry interface, some 1,701 nautical miles to the splashdown site. Integrity systems in excellent shape. We are currently 3,300 nautical miles left in this mission. Splashdown scheduled 36 minutes, 39 seconds from now.
Yeah, they're lucky I'm not on the rocket. They would have killed me.
Integrity, Houston. For the 2 enabled prop cautions, what happened is while the thrusters were firing,
they would
multiple
have fired me out
sensors
the airlock
on each
by
of the
now.
strings diverged a bit from each other. Those limits look to be set pretty tight. We think it could happen again when the thrusters fire in the future, so we are going to suppress those messages.
We concur with suppress, not inhibit. Thank you.
Yes. We concur.
That exchange between Jackie Mahaffey, our Capcom for tonight, and Reed Wiseman aboard Integrity, indicating basically to ignore sensor data. All of Integrity's systems are in good shape. Now, coming up on about 90 seconds till the crew module, service module separation.
Okay, timer went away because they suck.
All quiet here in Mission Control as we enter the most critical phase of the completion of this flight. All of the preparatory activities leading up to the vehicle entering the Earth's atmosphere just 21 minutes from now.
What? Okay, so...
Coming up on 1 minute. Mark, 1 minute till crew module, service module separation.
I'm sorry. Trying to fix this stupid shit I got going on over here. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing this because there's some way cooler footage. I see it's on the other screen too.
And we have confirmation of crew module, service module separation.
Sweet.
And a great view, albeit momentarily.
Houston, good step on board.
Houston copies and concurs.
The European service module now separated from Integrity. A job well
All right,
done.
I got to go unload dishes. I'll be back.
Integrity, no action for the 4 CDH cautions. Those are SM related, not applicable.
Integrity.
So, with Integrity now flying free on its own for the remaining 32 minutes of this mission. Next up, the raise burn, a 19-second firing of Integrity's thrusters.
Good GPS 2.
Integrity copies. Good GPS 2.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark until the raise burn. Again, this is the final tweaking of the orientation of Integrity to put it in the right angle, if you will, the angle of attack that it will fly in during its entrance into the Earth's atmosphere. Entry interface now just 18 minutes, 25 seconds away. This is a visualization, but driven by real-time telemetry. This is the maneuvering of Integrity to the raise burn orientation. Just 2,800 miles from Earth.
Houston, we got a great view of the European service module out the window with the sun hitting the side and the solar rays and the NASA worm right there. It's a beautiful looking machine.
Roger.
And we have completed the maneuver to the raise burn orientation, 1 minute away from the raise burn. And the crew module raise burn is underway, a 19-second firing of the thrusters, and we have a completion of the burn.
Integrity, good. CM raise burn. Your flight path angle is within limits.
Integrity copies. Looks good on board, Jackie.
So the final maneuver is now complete. Our trajectory for a splashdown in the Pacific 29 minutes from now is set and will not be amended any further. And we have the right angle of attack to mitigate any excessive heat loads on the vehicle during entry interface.
Integrity, Houston, a heads up about comm coverage. When you perform the 180 roll, for the first minute or so in that attitude, we expect about a minute LOS.
We copy.
So for those who are watching the series of events coming up, we will enter the first traces of Earth's atmosphere 14 minutes, 45 seconds from now. 6:53 and 30 seconds is what is pegged for
I'll be back.
entry interface.
I'm still helping them unload groceries. I'll be right back. Thanks for being here.
Approximately 34,800 feet per second. Range to touchdown or splashdown, 1,701 nautical miles. 24 seconds after entry interface, we will enter a 6-minute blackout period in which we will lose communications with the crew. This is expected due to the buildup of plasma around the vehicle. That's an ionization
Ryan Reynolds
effect
here from Mint Mobile. Now,
due
I don't
to the
know if you've
collision,
heard,
if you
but
will,
Mint's
of the
premium
velocity of the
wireless is
spacecraft
$15
with the friction of the Earth's
but
atmosphere.
I'd like to offer one
That
other
6-minute blackout is expected to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time.
Crazy weather we're having. No, it's
During
not.
that period
It's
of
just weather.
time,
Did you watch the big game? I
we will
haven't
reach
watched
our peak
anything
speed of
in 7 years because I have 4
24,661
children.
miles per hour.
Just sign up
comes
online
just short,
at mintmobile.com.
based on
It is an
unofficial
introvert's
data from the
dream.
flight dynamics officer right now, will come just short of the velocity record set by Apollo 10 of 24,791 miles per hour in 1969. We expect peak heating on the vehicle at 6:54 and 52 seconds p.m. Central Time, a minute and 22 seconds into entry interface. At that point, we will be just 204,000 feet above the Earth, traveling at 33,000 feet per second. Blackout period is expected to last 6 minutes. We expect that blackout period to end at 6:59 and 55 seconds p.m. Central Time.
All right.
The blackout period until splashdown
Woo!
7 minutes.
What's up?
At which point we'll start deploying the series of parachutes to slow integrity down to an ultimate splashdown velocity of just 19 miles an hour.
Oh shit. That can go away. Don't need that. Right. We're still about, what? 25 minutes away. I had a timer up, but they got rid of it. Real smart.
The parachute deployment sequence, once again, will come in several segments, but in rapid fire succession.
And we have a great view of the moon out window 2. Looks a little smaller than yesterday.
It was hot in this room that I'm in. I just got the fan going.
Guess we'll have to go back.
Where's everybody from? Comment where you're at. I am in South Carolina.
Reed Wiseman and Jackie Mahaffey exchanging discussion on a view of the moon that Integrity's astronauts are seeing in the final minutes of this mission that will be completed with splashdown just 25 minutes from now.
There we go. I want to where my music went.
Parachutes will be used to pull the forward bay cover off the top of the vehicle. Then 2 drogue parachutes will be deployed to slow and stabilize the crew module during its descent, followed by 3 pilot parachutes that will lift and deploy the main parachutes from the forward bay. The final sequence will have 3 main parachutes deployed. These will be 116 feet in diameter.
I think that's so cool.
Each main parachute approximately 265 feet long when reefed. The parachutes will ultimately slow Integrity down from its peak speed of almost 33 times the speed of sound.
Damn.
To a gentle 19 miles an hour as splashdown.
Amazing. That's so cool. Science is awesome, isn't it? Greenville.
The vehicle is now currently in a roll.
That
to the
is my
proper
mother, guys.
attitude
Be
for
nice.
Entry interface. Our trajectory is right on according to flight dynamics.
Not that anybody has been anything but nice. You guys have actually been silent, so I would love it if you guys could hit the like button. That would mean a lot to me. It'd mean even more if you scan that QR code. Because I'm a broke about to be
Integrity
in
is
my car.
on a trajectory from southwest and northeast across the Pacific Ocean, descending at a rate of 15,000 feet per second.
Damn! I mean, damn. That's a little under 3 miles. 3 miles a second. It's like from here to the store. In like it's like Jesus.
Range to touchdown 4,300 nautical miles. All the systems in excellent shape.
15,000 feet per second. That's faster than my car. That's true.
Integrity, Orion in the EI roll 180 attitude.
Looks good on board, Jackie.
Who's that woman in front of the green screen?
This view out of one of Integrity's windows.
I don't think she's an astronaut.
We had a call for 3 good barrows. Those are barometric pressure sensors that feed altitude and rate of descent information to Integrity's computers that will trigger the parachute deployment sequence.
At 33 times the speed of sound.
We are less than 9 minutes away from entry interface, 22 minutes from splashdown.
That woman would turn into dust. I mean, she's already almost there anyway, so. Oh, that's so rude. Yes. Yes, it is.
You can see the reflection of one of the crew members in the window. Out in the Pacific, the weather conditions remain go. Just a few clouds, some scattered clouds. Winds at 10 knots. Wave heights just about 4 feet. A gentle day in the Pacific for the homecoming of Integrity's astronauts.
Damn it. Help. Help. Help, help, help. Woo. All right, who's the dickhead that left? Somebody said this guy's not professional enough for me and left.
Integrity back in EI attitude.
I got your attitude right here.
We see the same on board, Jackie.
Let's go, jerky.
Houston, purge is complete. Crew and vehicle are configured for entry.
Houston copies.
We are exactly 20 minutes away.
And we're in step 37, transferring nav state to BFS.
Whoa.
And Houston, in instruction 509, we are not below 0.2.
Integrity, no action required.
Integrity.
I'm surprised that there aren't more people watching. I guess it's more exciting to see it leave the planet than come back, huh?
Now 6 minutes away from entry interface. We will hit the first traces of Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling about 34,882 feet per second. Range to splashdown at that point will be 1,701 nautical miles.
All right, I'm going to make myself a little smaller because y'all are here to see that. Not my ugly mug. So, here we go. How about that? Is that better, guys?
And once again, just a reminder, some 24 seconds after entry interface, we do expect to lose communications with the vehicle and the crew during a 6-minute blackout period when a plasma shield will build up around the spacecraft due to the ionization, due to heating effects.
Ionization.
And Flight Dynamics has just confirmed we will have a blackout period of exactly 6 minutes in duration. And once again, that's due to the fact that a plasma buildup around the vehicle will prevent communications and data, so we will not be able to talk to the crew members at that time, nor will we receive data here in the flight control room.
Houston, everything is looking good on board. Just confirm no pre-EI downloads.
Houston concurs.
That blackout period to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time, and again will last about 6 minutes in duration.
How's that? There we go. I'll make myself smaller once.
We're 4 minutes away from entry interface.
Once we're closer. There we go. There we go. I actually want to keep this other one on the screen. Hey, look. Overlay. That's actually pretty cool. That's so cool. I'm fascinated. I'm like a little child, right? Love it. I'm just sharing this out. If you can share it to your Facebook or your social media, do me a favor and share this video. Like right now before everything happens.
This view from Integrity as it crosses from southwest to northeast across the Pacific Ocean, 3 minutes from entry interface. $16.5 minutes till splashdown. The USS John P. Murtha and the recovery team is on station and in position, as are the airborne imagery assets that we hope to receive imagery from as Artemis enters the Earth's atmosphere and through parachute deployment. All of Integrity's systems are in great shape. The crew is ready to complete its mission just 15.5 minutes from now. All of the activities today have gone off in perfect fashion. No issues with the vehicle, no issues with the crew.
Awesome.
And the weather at the splashdown site is go.
I mean, really, we're too smart for that, right? Don't want to have that sort of arrogance, do we? No, wouldn't be good. I'm totally digging that music. Yeah. Thought I heard somebody knocking. I guess I was wrong.
Coming up on 1 minute until entry interface. Mark 1 minute until entry interface.
This is cool.
1 minute, 20 seconds until the expected start of our 6-minute blackout.
Integrity, 1 minute to a 6-minute blackout.
Integrity.
Ten seconds till entry interface. And we have crossed the threshold now entering the Earth's atmosphere.
Sweet.
We're at 400,000 feet, traveling 34,800 feet per second.
Damn. Almost 35,000 feet per second. Dude, that's like... It's like 6
Time to splash down,
miles per
13
second.
minutes, 10 seconds.
Damn. Because 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Look, oh, what is that? My head's in the way. That's so cool. What is...
And as predicted, we've entered our communications blackout.
That's so we don't see
This
the
will be
aliens,
a 6-minute
isn't it?
blackout period. No voice, no data from the crew.
Really? Then what's this over here?
We're 30 seconds away from the anticipated point of peak heating on the vehicle, where temperatures will rise to about 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Woo!
This is the true test of our trajectory.
That's hotter than my bowl of spaghetti.
And from the G5 aircraft in the vicinity of the splashdown zone, this view of integrity. So that pinpoint of light shows the vehicle as it enters the period of peak heating in the Earth's atmosphere, the first tug of gravity being felt by Integrity's astronauts since their launch back on April 1st.
That's got to be weird, right? That's got to be like the biggest drag in the world.
4.5 minutes until the end of the blackout period.
You're just enjoying life out in space.
Time to splash down, 11 minutes, 33 seconds.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can feel the Earth. Damn it. Do we have to go back? Damn. I can feel it. I can feel the Earth. I can see all that happening. Lucky bastards. Lucky bastards. And yeah, it is luck. 1 in a million chance of being selected when you have all the qualifications and you apply. It's literally 1 in a million. Might be a little worse than that. The odds, I mean.
The landing and support officer reports that the P3 has acquisition on integrity. Three and a half minutes left in this blackout period. This is a visualization of the plasma buildup around the spacecraft and the repelling of that heat on Integrity's heat shield.
Shit. As you can see, the countdown.
Flight Dynamics reports that airborne assets in the vicinity of the splashdown zone do have a visual on integrity.
I don't think that's a countdown.
Still 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in our blackout period. Time to splashdown, 9 minutes, 35 seconds.
See who else is going to provide you with nice ambient music.
Multiple airborne assets as part of the recovery team all have visuals on integrity.
You don't get any cool music like this even when you're in the shuttle. What? That's right. Thanks for joining us.
And the WB-57 flying in the splashdown zone also has a visual.
We'll put it on the screen then, jerk.
And the Navy helos also have visuals.
Let's go. Put it on the screen. Everybody else is showing the same thing.
We're still in the blackout period.
Well, what?
Still do not have communications from the crew.
Yeah, everybody's showing the same image. Every channel. Every channel that's covering it. Yep. Because there's another one. And there's another one.
Standing by for communications from the crew. We should be out of the blackout period less than a minute from now.
Sweet. Top right, obviously, is mission control. Hey, that looks like what, yeah, there they are in the sky. I think, yeah.
They're
Yeah,
now
I don't know about
processing
that.
data from Integrity.
Come on. I can't
Landing
believe
and support officer reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown target zone.
I can't believe more people aren't watching this. Like this is the coolest thing in the world going on right now. There's another shuttle launch in approximately 14 or 15 hours. It's just going up to, I do believe it's going up to the space station just to graphic content. What the hell are they talking about? There's somebody else covering this and they put graphic content for the
Passing through
splashdown.
150,000 feet, our trajectory is perfect. We're getting intermittent views
Come
of
on,
Integrity.
baby. Come on,
Still
baby.
waiting to establish voice communication.
I'm getting a much better picture over here.
Integrity, Houston, comm check, post blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Your trajectory
better
is
image right
nominal,
here.
and your recovery teams have visual.
Yeah, we're gonna pull that up because that's better.
No action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
No action for the enabled. Huh.
Big cheers from the viewing room here in Mission Control.
What
as
are you, a
voice
racist?
communication reestablished with Commander Reed
Hey,
Wiseman.
look at that. It's coming.
For America and a waiting world, Integrity is 5.5 minutes away from coming home.
Sweet. Come on, baby.
Passing 100,000 feet now.
There it is. There it is, and it's a bird. It's a plane.
Range to splashdown 19 nautical miles.
Damn. 19 miles away. Hey, is that a parachute deployed? Imagine being in space and it's perpetually nighttime, right? And then you enter the atmosphere and all of a sudden it's daytime. I think that's cool.
Integrity, impact to the camera controller fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
Putting this over here.
Integrity.
We're processing good data through the GPS system. A good view of Integrity. Time to splash down 4.5 minutes. And a view of Integrity from the WB-57.
Cool.
We're at 50,000 feet.
Nice. That's so cool. Woo!
The pyros are armed for forward bay cover jettison.
That's so cool. So awesome. And into the drink you go. I wonder what that feels
And
like.
there go the first series of parachutes.
What are you talking
and
about?
We're on drogues.
We're on drugs. Is that what he said?
Houston, we're visual 2 drugs out the window.
And they threw the drugs out the window.
2 good drug shoots.
Very good
Next
drugs.
up,
We copy. We see them.
They threw the good drugs out the
deployment of
window.
pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Right. There go the drugs. Is that the Loch Ness Monster in the background? You saw that,
Perfect
right?
descent rate according to flight dynamics.
Good rates on 2 drugs.
Feeling those brakes.
We see the same on board.
Feeling the gravity of Earth pulling you and then the parachutes pulling back. Man, that's got to be very strange. They've been, what now, a week? 10 days. It was 10 days. Without any gravity. It's got to be the weirdest sensation.
Passing through 10,000 feet.
They're all looking at each
Still on
other.
drugs.
They're all looking at each other right now. We're still on drugs. They're all looking at each other right now going, whoa, whoa, because they're all feeling things for the first time ever and sharing it with each other, that's what it's all about. These things like this are meaningless unless you have someone to share them
Main
with.
chute deploy.
Remember that the next time you want to get all divisive with
We're at
somebody
5,000 feet.
about the things that are going on in our country. Don't let this
Search and recovery beacon has been activated on integrity.
Don't let politics divide you.
And we have 3 good main chutes.
Nice.
Good 3 main chutes, good reefing, good descent rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes.
Life isn't worth living unless you've got somebody to share it with. Am I right? Do me a favor and drop a like. Hit that like button. I would really appreciate it.
Integrity. Cabin pressure indicates no need for hydrazine checks.
Integrity copies.
This is a perfect descent for integrity. Its crew sounding hale and hearty on board.
It's a perfect descent. No one's ever seen a
Time
descent
to
like
splash
it.
down 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Everybody's talking about how perfect the descent was. There it is. Imagine being the one to open that door.
Integrity about to complete a journey spanning 694,481 miles.
Open the door. What's
from
up?
its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
I wonder what their first requests are. Like as soon as you get out of the capsule, what's the one thing you want? You know what I mean? There's going to be people there that have those things. They probably all got asked, what's the first thing you want? There's somebody there with those items right now, ready to give them. Somebody wanted a bag of Doritos. Somebody else wanted a Mountain Dew. Stuff like that. They're all going to go home and eat fried chicken tonight, too. And pizza, tacos.
Passing through 1,000 feet.
There we go. Boom! We have landed. Woo! Welcome home to the astronauts of the Artemis 2. Congratulations on your historic journey around the moon and back. I, for one, am proud of you. And I'm proud of my country for making it happen. And you should be too. Go fly an American flag today. I can't wait to see their faces.
Houston Integrity, splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Yes, it is.
Copy splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time.
Yes, it is. Yes,
From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth.
They have to get their words. If you're just now dropping in on us, back it up like
and
30
the landing and
seconds.
support officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown.
A perfect
Integrity and
bullseye
its 4
splashdown.
astronauts.
This is the best splashdown. Everybody's talking about how great it is. Probably the best it's ever been. I don't think we've seen anything like it in the history of our country.
The unofficial splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds.
I knew it was close to 10 days. Miriam Kurtecki, are you still with us, or are you one of the folks that left?
And we're configuring for very low data rate.
I can't wait to see the looks on these guys' faces.
Once again, splashdown occurring in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
Integrity Houston, comm check on VLDR.
Welcome back to Earth. Welcome
Houston, we
back
have
to
you loud and
Earth.
clear on VLDR. How else?
God,
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in post-landing.
I wish I had the privilege of saying that to someone.
Perfect communications established.
Or having it said to me.
4 green crew members.
'Cause I would love to leave the planet, but
Houston copies all.
if I ever had
Reed
the...
Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members. That is not their complexion. That is the fact that they're in great condition. That's what that means.
They're green. That's not their complexion.
One,
They're not
upright,
aliens.
The crew module
You
uprighting
don't know
system
that
is being
until you
deployed
open
with
that
5
door.
airbags being inflated through helium to maintain the upright configuration for the vehicle. This was
That's
a
right.
textbook entry and a textbook touchdown for integrity.
It
Reed
couldn't have been
Wiseman,
more
Victor Glover,
perfect.
Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen back on Earth after a journey around the moon.
If I ever had the privilege of leaving the planet, I can't say that I would come back. I would hijack the shuttle and be like, nope, we're taking it a little detour. Where to? Anywhere else? Fly it into the sun. I don't care. I'm out. If I had the chance to die somewhere other than Earth, I'm taking it. You know, so the space overlord Xenu can't collect my soul in the soul collector, you know?
Alert. Threat. World leaders push to save Iran talks amid Israel's attacks in Lebanon.
You don't say. That's the price I have to pay to have that cool music in the background.
We continue to monitor the functioning of the CMOOS system. The airbags are being inflated to maintain a stable one or upright configuration.
Yeah. Got your
There's a good
airbags.
view from one of the naval helicopters hovering overhead. Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members, meaning they're all in excellent shape.
No, they're aliens. That's what that means. They're green. We have green crew members. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Open up the gate and there's an alien in there. That would be so cool. He's just in there chowing down the bones of our astronauts. Yeah.
Integrity Houston for SAR beacon and radio.
That would be an interesting day in the news, wouldn't it?
SAR beacon is in for.
If you're just now joining us, back up about 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, and you'll see the moment they
We see
landed.
the beacon on. However, the recovery team is not seeing the signal. Your SAR radio uses the same antenna, so you may run into trouble with the radio.
They're not seeing it because they're not
Take
there.
up here. We are also powering up the sat phone.
Members are in excellent shape.
They can't wait to get the
And
hell
we
out
have
of that
5
box.
inflated airbags to maintain an upright configuration.
They can't wait
So
to get out
that
of that
the
sardine
reaction,
box.
the recovery team can now begin a slow approach to the vehicle. Meanwhile, here in the flight control room, entry flight director Rick Henfling is polling his team of flight controllers for the start
pulling on his
of powering down the
buttons.
vehicle
What?
after a thorough systems check.
Alert. Threat. Israeli strike on government building kills Lebanese officers.
You don't say.
To be able to execute missions
with this level of excellence. And I think you've seen the culmination of all that work here over the last 10 days for this Artemis II crew.
And Wendy, I've been struck by the prose that has come from so high above us. It almost feels like we're listening to poets as they are on, near the lunar surface, and just to hear their words transmitted across this void and have it resonate with so many humans. This is something that has been your life's work, and yet, how has it made you feel?
Made me feel fantastic.
I had the opportunity to be at the visitors complex at the Kennedy Space Center, and there were tens of thousands of people there, and they were just enthralled by listening to the crew. I think this moment has really resonated around the world. And yeah, this is a superb crew. Not only are they technically competent, but they have an amazing ability to communicate with us back on Earth. I'm of the generation that remembers Apollo, and I'm wearing this blue jacket because of the impact the Apollo program had on me. And thanks to this crew, I think there are millions of kids around the world who are going to be similarly inspired.
Yeah, there is the Apollo generation. There is the Artemis generation. And Stephen, now they are almost one and the same. We are all part of this Artemis generation, right?
We are a spacefaring species, and I think something like this, it's great. It's great for NASA. It's great for all the contracting companies. It's great for the people. It's great for the United States. But more than anything, it's great for us as a people. In times when there's a lot of bad news on the news, this is something that we can all be proud of, aspire to. And kids today, they know we can do this. So they have to be thinking, what can I do?
And then this is something that we have all contributed to in one way or another. Drew, and yet there is so much work to be done. I know that you're working with VAST right now, but there is an entire new frontier of space exploration, space industry to come. How do you see the next few years unfolding?
Well, I mean, this mission was very intentional to send humans back around the moon and open up the pathway for us to
wasn't accidental.
Send additional crews for the Artemis 3 and 4 flights, and we have those capsules built already. NASA's working on with contractors on the landers and, of course, a spacesuit. But from my perspective, this is the start of a new era where we put humans on the moon to stay with operations and capability and habitats, and where we start to commercialize low Earth orbit space as the space station moves towards its retirement. We'll get into that new sector of space where we're talking.
If you're just now joining us, you can back it up about 10 minutes, and you'll see the moment that they landed. Pretty much exactly what you would expect. I know, mind-blowing, right?
The big question, the question that so many people are asking when they come down from the awe.
I'm waiting on them to open the door up so I can see the looks on these guys' faces. I can imagine they're ready to get the hell out of that little tin can there and stretch their legs and breathe some fresh air and look at the blue sky and feel the breeze. You know what I mean? Wouldn't be surprised one bit if one of them jumped in the water. I would. I'd want to, at least. I don't know if you could, but protocol and whatnot. But I'd want to jump in the water. But I mean, they were only gone 10 days, so it's not like those people that got left in the space station. Yeah. How long were they up there? Months? I forget how long it was. And it's funny, Biden left those people up there for however long months. I want to say it was 8 or 9 months, wasn't it? Almost a year, something like that. But when one of our military dudes goes down, dude moves mountains and rescues him in a day. That's right. That's right. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Oh, these people are saying something, I'm sure. I'm just not interested in what they're saying, because who cares? And once they get closer to it and they open up the door, and we perhaps get to see the people, but I'm imagining we probably won't get to see that, because I would assume they'd have that camera running right now.
They are hearing us.
Yeah, it's closer.
This is not going to in any way impact our safety.
Alert, Fred. The
But
Senate
it's just a
Board,
glitch.
Iran Update Special Report April 10, 2026. The Iranian delegation arrived in Islamabad on April 10th ahead of plan.
The radio.
Me too.
Oh, there's the technical support,
commander
Tom.
of the space.
Yeah.
Now that would be embarrassing if the commander of the of Artemis is being told push the button to talk.
The communications between integrity and the recovery.
You know, in this moment, again, it sounds like things are complicated a little when it comes to the communication back and forth with those that are right next to them on the water. But Tom, let's just recap here, because
let's not recap, but I'll tell you what I can do. I can zoom in. Watch this. This is gonna be cool. Watch this. I probably shouldn't do this because I might lose them. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna bring it back to where it was, because it's all over the place. I'm having trouble tracking it, keeping it tracked. As in, you know, keeping it all in the center. What the fuck is going on here? You guys are like, oh, just center it out. Yeah, I know. I know. The fuck? Holy flirking schnit. You heard me, boy. You heard me, boy. 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 That's right, boy. You heard me. They're staying a good distance away. Would anyone? Hey there, Trevi. Would anybody like to guess why they're staying such a good distance away? Do me a favor, drop a like. And just so everyone knows, I'm not by any means suggesting that you do anything you don't want to do, but if you happen to want to send any kind of donation, do it with the QR code, please, because if you send a super chat, YouTube likes to keep 40%-ish of whatever you send, so I'm sure you would prefer not to pay YouTube, but rather if you want to send me a little bit of a donation, I'm sure you would prefer that I get all of it, but totally up to you. If you feel more comfortable doing a super chat, by all means, do whatever you're more comfortable with. I just figured I'd throw that out there. But this QR code, that's me. All right, they decided to get a little closer. I guess I could turn the audio on now. I just have been vibing with his music.
With the old things, and this is exactly the approach for the space program. You know, and people say, oh, that looks just like Apollo. Didn't we do Apollo? Well, the reason that capsule looks like an Apollo capsule is because the physics of the atmosphere have not changed.
OE1, is there any chance to tie us into NRD?
And Costello, Tom Costello, if you're still with us, it sounds like they're trying to patch into the comms that Mission Control has. Is that what's going on?
I think that's right, buddy. And the bottom line here is that obviously the commander of the ship needs to talk to the master diver to coordinate when he approaches, and they need to power down and make sure all of that's coordinated for obvious reasons. You don't want to take a chance of somebody being injured, especially a Navy diver right now.
They're like, hurry up and open this door. I want to smoke. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really care to listen to those people running their mouth. I'm waiting to see them open the door. And beyond that, there's nothing that these jerks could say that I'm very interested in hearing, really.
Just such an honor to be able to...
You see? Now the other talking you might hear is if Israel or something in Iran happens. That's where that music is coming from. The source of that is oh shit, I'll just show it to you. It is this right here. That's my war map. It's pretty cool though, isn't it? It's got all kinds of stuff for concerning the war in Israel. It's got cyber alerts. It's got all kinds of cool stuff. But it also has that cool music, and that's the only reason I've got it up, is so that we can hear that nice music. And it's just been on like a serious repeat. That same gig you hear over and over again. It's just been going the whole time, which is probably why it's royalty free, or I wouldn't be able to play it. I would have already got a copyright strike. But it's probably the channel owner's own music that he just looped. It's like a 10-second thing that they just keep on repeat. Watch, it's gone now, but it's going to come back and it's going to be exactly the same. See? Well, I actually was on here for, I thought, for some reason I was thinking it was 3 hours, but no, it's only 2. No, I have been on for 3 hours. Damn. Time flies, baby. The time flies, baby. Hurry up, open the damn door. God, you know it stinks in there.
Are you going to build on the momentum for Artemis 3? I mean, it's just around the corner.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's, part of me too. Like, I can't wait to get...
Like, one of the guys that's in there right now, he's like, I can't wait any longer. I'm taking my shoes off. And he took his shoes off, and the rest of them are now dead. That's what happened. I know these things. They're murdering each other right now as we speak. Well, I can't imagine that there's anything else really all that phenomenal that's going to come of this. I mean, they're in the water. They've been in the water for 30 minutes. Why does it take so long to crack the seal on this can? I don't know. But, oh yes, who are we talking to?
The fact that we're going to keep doing this more and more and more.
It's incredibly exciting. I mean, yes, it's the contributions, like the best and brightest.
Who cares what this jerk is talking about? Why are you talking to him? Yeah, these people are not gonna feel like having a camera thrown in their face. For God's sake, these people are gonna want to go home, take a shower, kiss their kids or their wife or their husband, have a wank, and then go eat some fried chicken or some pizza, and probably get high. That would be on my list, I think. I think I would. To celebrate, yeah, I would probably have to. Probably, maybe, kind of, sort of, maybe, probably. Well, guys, yeah, I think that's going to be me. I think that's it. I appreciate everybody being here. I will be back on Monday morning for my ass early news that I always do around 7 a.m. So be here if you're up early in the weekdays and you want, you know, a little bit of what's going on in the world, a little bit of money talk. You know, we look at the crypto, we look at stocks, we look at the news, not just like, you know, world news and politics, but also finance news and whatever other things are going on, and then we just dick around a little bit and have fun, jokes and comedy and whatever else. I'm usually half asleep when I first start out, so if you have been here with me in the mornings, then you probably noticed a difference in the energy. Anyway, yeah, I do believe that's going to be it, guys. Love you in the mouth. Be good to each other. We have the potential to be way better than we sometimes are. You can say that about other people, but can you say that about yourself? If you're honest, you can. So, you know, with all of the division that's going on lately in the world, try and be better than the next person is, you know? Try and be what you want other people to be. Try and be a little more understanding, and try and bridge that gap a little bit. I know we've all lost somebody to politics lately. That's the state of this country. We treat politics like a natural disaster. I know we've lost somebody to politics lately. I've lost family. I've got an aunt who, after Trump won, called me up freaking out because she thought that all the gays were going to be rounded up and put into camps. And yeah, she didn't like it when I told her she was out of her mind. And that was the stupidest shit I'd ever heard. She doesn't talk to me anymore. And that's pretty stupid. Don't be that stupid. So yeah, I still want to stay here. I want to stay here and see them open the capsule, right? Kind of feels like a ripoff if we don't get to see them open the capsule. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not leaving yet. I'm waiting until they open the damn capsule and get my money's worth. Even though it was free, it didn't cost me nothing. I still feel like I'm getting ripped off if I don't see them open that gate. I want to see them jerks in there. I want to make sure they're not aliens feasting on their bones. And I don't care about what the people on TV are talking about it. Until they open that door, I could care less what they're talking about. They're just trying their best to come up with something to say. Because they're just killing time, kind of like I am. You know what? I am going to recap. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what's going on here in the world. All right.
Just you.
Good timing.
Building your app.
Skip
on base 44.
Boom. Those are so small. I can't tell. The fuck? What? What in the hell? This is so small I can't read anything. So I don't even know what the hell it is. Oh well. I dig the music. That's just so I'm aware of what's going on in Iran. There's a delay in what y'all see versus what I see. I did all of what I just did there with the sliding the thing up, the image of my head bigger and bigger and back and forth, and I just looked over here and watched it happen. That was pretty funny looking. Y'all probably think it was pretty stupid, and it was. It was very stupid. Do me a favor, drop a like before I go. I'd really appreciate it. Nobody's dropped a like. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not creating the news. I'm just bringing it to you. But either way, I do appreciate everybody hanging out with me. I'm not leaving just yet. I don't think I should just yet. I don't want to yet. I want to see them open that can. Come on, open it up already. What the hell are we waiting on? Maybe if I was listening to what they're saying, I'd know.
And I know that when I came home, I always felt like I was floating. Felt like the whole earth was rocking back and forth. And in fact, when I went to bed at night, I'd have to leave one foot hanging off the bed so I could feel the floor. Otherwise, it was very disorienting to me. The body adapts wonderfully once it's in space, and eventually.
Let's see, the dumb people right now are like, "Oh, I don't believe him." But I don't believe him. Yeah. Okay.
Incredibly nuanced things, from the smell of space to.
You failed geography. Your opinion doesn't matter.
And it's just a wonderful experience, and I know that they're going to come back with wonderful stories. They're going to drop some knowledge on us, drop some knowledge on this entire planet, because we as human beings have never been where they have been, and that's breathtaking. That's incredible. That's something to just celebrate today.
Yeah, and drop some knowledge and drop some eloquence, which is what we keep hearing from the far side of the moon. It's been pretty wild. Tom Costello joins us. Tom, you've been monitoring the mission to recover those astronauts, get them on the deck of that ship, and then get them back to terra firma here. How's it going? Yeah. What's the latest?
By the way, I had to leave you momentarily to go over to NBC Nightly News, Gotti, so I apologize. I don't want to repeat something you just said, but we're now waiting for the divers to approach, because they needed to power down the ship before the divers actually touched it. And we're in the process of seeing that right now. It looks like they're getting closer. Again, at the risk of repeating anything you said, the divers include medics who will do a quick cursory check of the astronauts inside the capsule. But we've already heard from Commander Reed Weissman that all four are green. And that is not a commentary on how they're feeling. It is that they're all in good shape. And so they will be put onto helicopters, hoisted up into helicopters, taken over to the USS John P. Murtha. And on board the John P. Murtha, you have a medical team led by Lieutenant Commander Wang, who is an ER doctor, and says he expects some nausea, some vertigo, maybe, and maybe.
What's your name? Wang. Commander Wang. That's me, Mr. Wang. No. Commander Wang. Get it right.
To greet them as soon as they come aboard, I should say. I've had a lot of texts and messages and emails over the years. It feels like years. Over the last few days, asking me about, is this any different than Apollo? And the truth is, of course, Artemis is the twin Greek god of Apollo. This is all about building on what Apollo accomplished.
Nobody else
and
gave me
literally
any
standing on the shoulders of Apollo.
Actually, honestly,
and yes,
I
the
don't know if they did or
Apollo
not.
missions, most of them orbited the moon and saw
nobody on
the
Rumble
far side
gave
of
me
the
any
moon,
damn likes.
but
I know
were
that.
at
They never do.
such a low altitude.
I love you, Rumble
they
people,
took in
but-
a very limited view
Why
of the
no
far
likes?
side
I
of the
don't
moon.
get it. I never get likes
However,
on
this
Rumble.
crew, the
I
Artemis
don't know
crew, was
why.
at a distance of
I'll
about
take
4,000 to
the-
5,000 miles above the.
I'll definitely take some constructive criticism if you want to tell me why I'm not worthy of your like, oh people of Rumble. Drop it in the chat, please, by all means. I can take it. You ain't got to worry about hurting my feelings. All right, they're approaching the capsule. I'm just making conversation, really. I don't care one way or the other. I mean, I'd prefer the likes. I'd love it if you liked my thing, my video. But I don't, if you don't, you don't. I'm still gonna be here doing them. So, but all right, yeah, I'm just making conversation. Don't take any of that shit to heart. Getting ready to open the can up, and so we can make sure that our astronauts are not being feasted on by an alien creature that took over the capsule while they were around the other side of the moon, you know. They were boarded days ago, and they're just now sucking the last bit of flesh off of the bones of the astronauts that were in the pod. And as soon as we open the gate, the alien that's in there will jump out and rip the head off of the guy that's on the boat. And then we'll start shooting everybody else, and everybody will die. And then they'll bring on the alien invasion. Then they'll signal for his family up in orbit to come down and destroy all of mankind. So I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. I, for one, would like to welcome our new alien overlords. What do you think the first thing these people are going to want to do? If it were me, I'd be like, I'm going to Bojangles. I want some fried chicken. I want some pizza. Nah, I want some chicken wings with about 7 or 8 different flavors. That's it. That's the ticket. It's going to be a few different meals. That's just one. Going to have a pepperoni pizza with like 5x pepperoni on it, okay? The pizza and the wings. Then I'm going to have a ribeye steak. Nah, you know what? Actually, I'll take 2 filet mignons. A little bit more done beyond beyond medium rare. Just a little bit. And a baked potato with butter and sour cream and bacon and cheddar cheese and chives, salt and pepper. And I want to take a whole stick of butter, wrap it up in foil with some whole garlics and salt and pepper, and cook those for as long as you cook the potato, about an hour and a half-ish, right? And then we're going to use that butter in the potato with the garlics, and by then the garlics will get nice and soft, and you mash them up in the potato, and you can't tell where the potato ends and the garlic begins. Mwah! Mwah! Yes. A fried chicken Caesar salad. No, I've got fried chicken over here already. How about some those little tiny little shrimps? Have them in a Caesar salad, a little shrimp Caesar salad. Now in the salad, I need a boiled egg. Bacon needs to be in that salad as well. Little fried shrimps, some croutons, some banana peppers, Parmesan cheese, and mozzarella cheese. So I got my Caesar salad, which is kind of a combination between a Cobb salad and a Caesar salad, if you want to get technical. Extra dressing. Ooh, no, I want the fried chicken salad from a place called Poogan's Porch. It's in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm currently in Walterboro, but it's about an hour and a half away from here. Poogan's Porch. That fried chicken salad is unreal. That honey jalapeno dressing. Oh, If you don't live in Charleston, you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Suffice it to say, it's damn good. You need to come to Charleston just to eat that. You will thank me. Even if that's all you come here for is lunch. I'm telling you, you will thank me. Fried chicken salad, Poogan's Porch. Poogan. Poogan's Porch. Poogan was the name of a dog. Dog's dead. But then I'm gonna have my I already said everything that's on the potato. Then I'm gonna have my 2 filet mignons, cooked just a hair's ass above medium rare, and I want it seasoned with this stuff right here that I just happen to have by my computer for some reason. It's Kinder's prime steak. Dude, let me tell you, I went to culinary school, okay? I know what I'm talking about. You only need that seasoning for your steak forever. And then I'm gonna have me a little cup of Dale's next to the steak, and a cup of Worcestershire sauce. And then for dessert, Bananas Foster. Have you ever had Bananas Foster? What's that you say? Nothing? Bananas Foster is when you saute bananas in butter, and then, or you saute them in butter and banana liqueur, and then you flambe it with some 151 rum, and then you pour that over real vanilla ice cream, and you serve it immediately. Like, usually when you go to a restaurant, if they even are a good enough restaurant to make it, which there's not many that do in most places, you got to go to like a 5-star restaurant for that. They have to make it tableside, because it'll literally turn into shit by the time they go from the kitchen to your table. So they're not doing it at the table to be fancy. They're doing it because it'll go to hell in just that amount of time. You have to eat it immediately because it's hot. It's been flambéed and they're pouring it on ice cream. You know what I mean? It's just going to show up as banana ice cream soup by the time you get it. But oh, let me tell you, oh, great God, Bananas Foster for dessert. Right, so chicken wings, about 7 or 8 flavors, a whole pepperoni pizza with 5 times 5x pepperonis, extra cheese, and then my Caesar salad with the fried egg and the peppers and the croutons and bacon and mozzarella cheese and Parmesan cheese and little fried shrimps, or that fried chicken salad from Poogan's Porch with honey jalapeno dressing, a baked potato with that buttered garlic, with the garlics into butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, salt and pepper, chives, bacon. I might have said bacon already, but that's fine. Double bacon. And ribeye steak with that prime steak seasoning all over it. And a little side of Dale's and a side of Worcestershire sauce. And then Bananas Foster for dessert. What am I going to have for a drink? A big, tall glass of double sweet iced tea. You thought I was going to say beer, didn't you? I'm not much of a drinker. I probably would want a beer, though, after that. So, yeah. Put that next to my tea. Yeah. 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 Damn it. Now I want a steak. But I can't afford a steak. I'm actually technically homeless. I'm just at a friend's house doing this. But, you know, if you want to buy me a steak, please feel free to scan that code. I'm not going to be able to afford a steak for I don't know how long. God, I'd love a steak. I mean, I've got the seasoning sitting right here teasing me. I'll put that seasoning in my coffee when I really want a steak. All this time I've been sitting here running my mouth about nonsense, and they still haven't even cracked the top on this can. Damn it. I just got a notification on my phone. If you're a fan of sci-fi, then you'll probably not like this. Paramount dismantling Star Trek after a historic streaming run makes even less sense now. What? Well, this is just stupid. And it hurts my feelings. I'm going to read you this here article I just found, whether you like it or not. Just kidding. Amid the shakeup after Skydance's merger with Paramount, studio immediately began a campaign to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. Both studios hold massive debt, estimated at $79 billion, should this latest acquisition go through. This means there will be even more of the typical post-merger cost-cutting underway as the new ownership charts its future course. It's primarily why Paramount stalled the expansion of Star Trek over the past decade. Only that plan makes even less sense when considering the studio let slip through the fingers of whoever wrote this. What? Shut up! That was a far departure from the music we were listening to, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to read any more of that. The article's not well written. But I don't know I don't know what it means though. Like they're canceling all of Star Trek because there's a couple of shows out. Budget problem, of course. It's an expensive shows to make, man. Well, that's a damn shame. I love Star Trek. In fact, I watched The Next Generation, or Voyager, or Deep Space Nine, or Enterprise. I watch it, one of those shows, every single night when I go to sleep. Every single night without fail. I put it on while I go to sleep. Because my granny used to watch it, and she loved Captain Picard. And I remember when she was watching it, while it was like, on television in the late 80s, early 90s, I didn't give a damn about no Star Trek. There was like nerd shit. You know what I mean? Plus, I was in a band, so I was way too cool. But, yeah, and here within the last 15-ish years or so, I've gained a whole new respect for it. Couple that with the fact that my granny used to like it, and it reminds me of her. And she used to drink Earl Grey tea because she liked Captain Picard. And she used to think that it was very sophisticated. It's like, no, Granny, Earl Grey tea. It tastes like Fruit Loops. Come on. But she was cute. And she liked it, so that's all that matters. But, yeah, I've got some Earl Grey tea myself, too. So don't be hating. Don't be hating on Granny's tea. Earl Grey, hot. Yeah. That was one of her favorite snacks, was a cup of Earl Grey tea, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of milk, with some, a couple slices of raisin toast with butter on it. And she would dip her raisin toast in her Earl Grey tea. My granny. She was a cool woman. They don't make them like that anymore. All right. They're opening the gate. I'm gonna let that, roll up the windows. You're letting all the stank out. There's the money shot. That's what I've been waiting on this whole time. Ah! Finally! Jesus H. Christ. Jesus Teddy fucking Christ. One of them explodes in a mist of red. Just, you know... Then like some a whole bunch of tentacles come flying out of the door. It rips one of those divers' heads off and throws it at one of the other people. This guy gets hit in the face with a head, falls in the ocean. Then a whole bunch of other ships come down and zap them all. Nothing but body parts everywhere. People screaming. Somebody's kid is watching this live. You can hear him crying. Daddy! Horrible, just horrible. Tentacles everywhere. I wonder how long it's going to take for them to get him to bring him on camera and ask him, "How was your journey?" "Oh, I had to go out there and give 110%. And, I'd like to thank my mom and Jesus." I don't care about any of that. Do you? Would you like me to stay on here so you can listen to them thank their mothers? They're not going to thank Jesus. They're scientists. They don't believe in God. I'm ready to go smoke a cigarette, damn it. Hurry up. Just think of how these guys feel. They've been in that can. They hit the water almost an hour ago. And they're like, "It took y'all motherfuckers an hour to open this door? It stinks in here. I want to smoke. Where's my fried chicken?" 6 boats. Look how many people are out there. Does any one of y'all have a pepperoni pizza? Hell no. Then get out of here. What do you need all these people for? I'm sure they have some function. Of course. But I'm sure you probably could leave some of those guys back at shore. I'm betting you could have left at least one of them. I'd be pretty pissed off though. All those people and not one of them brought a pizza. That's some foul shit. that is rude. Look at all those people. What was that all about? It is 7 p.m. Pacific time. It is 9 p.m. on the East Coast where I am. Where are you at? Drop your location in the chat. Tell me where you're from. I'm in Walterboro, South Carolina myself. I'm from Charleston. I used to live in Atlanta, and I lived in St. Petersburg, Florida for a little while. I'm planning on living in Thailand here in the next few months. I recently sold my house and lost the majority of that money in the market to the tune of about $70,000. Well, that's why I'm about to be homeless, because I'm staying with a friend of mine, and she's let me stay here out of the kindness of her heart. But I initially told her I only needed to be here for a few weeks. What was like 3 weeks, was supposed to be 3 weeks, has now turned into almost 11 weeks. All because I'm waiting on the IRS to give me my damn tax return. And it's tied up because of some BS that I can't help. I just have to wait for them to tell me that they're ready for me to amend, blah, 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 blah. Point is, I'm going to be sleeping in my car because I can't afford a hotel room. And I don't know what to do about it. I'm technically disabled. I'm waiting on my hearing, which is the last step in disability. And I'm at the very end. And I've been waiting on a hearing since December. So we're already 4 months into that part of the process. I already went through all the denials and all that. I got my lawyer on it. So I'm like literally waiting, just like, and I can't expect who I'm staying with to let me continue staying here for free. It's not fair to her, you know what I mean? So I can't turn around and ask her, hey, let me stay here until my disability comes. There's no telling when that could come. It should be coming any day now, but there's no guarantee that it won't take another year, you know what I mean? So I plan on getting an apartment, but I need my damn tax money. I don't know when the hell it's going to go. From the day I'm able to amend my return, it's still going to take a week from then. So at the minimum, if I hear from them tonight, which I won't, it's Friday, I'm not going to hear from them at least until Monday. I've got, that being said, I've got at least 10 days until that happens. And at any minute, I'm pretty sure she's going to tell me I got to go. She was telling me I got to go almost 10 days ago. She was hinting at it 9 days ago. And I was like, yeah, I know. I'm working on it. And I don't know what the hell to do. I mean, I would offer her some money, but I don't have any fucking money, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Plus, I've got my little kitty. Would you like to meet my kitty? There's my kitty. Oh, you want to say hi to the people on YouTube? Oh, Memers. Her name is Memers. Little kitty. Oh, that's my kitty. She doesn't like to be held. Unless it's her idea. I know. You were sleeping and I just woke you up just to parade you in front of the good people of YouTube. Yeah. That's her right there. See? She is my everything right now. She's my best friend. I love my kitty. She is a sweetheart. I do love her to death. In fact, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have her here lately. I've not had a very good last couple of months, and she has been the one constant. Seems like she knows anytime I'm upset too. She'll come right up to me right when I need her to, and she'll look me right in the face and go, "Meow." Such a good kitty. But yeah, she'll be turning 11 when I turn 48. Shit. Yeah. My birthday's 2 weeks away. So yeah, I'll be turning 48 in 2 weeks, and she'll be turning 11. Isn't that nice? Our birthday is right around the same time. There it is. There it is, finally. I bet it stinks in there. They were cooped up in that thing. Whew. For 10 days. Or was it part of something bigger? Didn't they detach from something, maybe? I'm not sure. The hell is this? I guess I would know if I had my headphones on.
Unnecessary occurrences from happening, stabilizing the capsule and the astronauts inside.
So basically this is a float that will go around Orion. I'm assuming that what they're doing right now, these are the lines that will attach the collar onto Orion?
That is correct.
And so what are they doing here?
So we've got the lower line that will secure the inflation device before we inflate it. That gives us that it's secure in space, and then we'll...
I don't care. All right, guys. I don't think there's any other reason for me to continue on. There's nothing really else happening. They're going to get out of the sardine can. They're going to be paraded in front of cameras. They're going to be like, oh, you know, how'd you enjoy that shit? And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I'd like to thank my mom and gave 110% and the yada, yada, yada. And then back to you, Bob, back to you, Megan, and yada, yada, yada. Roll some commercials about antidepressants. And then Stephen Colbert will come on. That's it. That's it. That's the rest of the night. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Love you guys in the mouth. Be good to each other. All right? We are in some very tight political times here lately. People are at each other's throats everywhere. Everything is so divisive. It's either left or right. There's no in the middle anymore. If you think this about something, then that means you think all this other stuff, because people are so dualistic. They can't think outside of those two parties. So do your best to be the person who breaks that kind of thinking. Be the person who is willing to listen to anybody. Be that person that you want other people to be. And I'm telling you, life will get better. Kinda. A little. So, that being said, peace, love, and hair grease. Join me weekday mornings at 7ish, where we do news, comedy, finance. Get your morning started. I'm usually on from 7 a.m. until almost 10 a.m. Last minute requests for donation. If you'd like, you can scan that QR code. I would really love it. Really appreciate it. Call it an early birthday present. If you don't want to, it's all good too. Come back and see me on Monday morning at 7 a.m. And if anything crazy goes on in the world, you can bet I'll be on here. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, love you guys. Thanks for coming.